Goody. We're doing it, Coy, whether you like it or not.
I hope I like it because I'm here on purpose.
Alrighty, gang. Citizens of the Reject Nation.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th, guys. It wouldn't be a real Rejects live stream, without all of the technical difficulties. We've hopefully taken care of those before going live. That's why we're a little tardy, because everything decided not to work right at the time we were going to go live. So now everything seems to be working. So let us know if you can hear us.
Hey, we got audio.
Leave a like.
We didn't
on
have
the
to ask.
stream.
They were ready. They
were
know,
ready.
and we
They
appreciate
know.
it. Please,
you
yes,
know
do
who
leave a like.
we are. May the 4th. We are with you once again. Guys, what are you doing to celebrate Star Wars Day? First off, let's hear it. Big shouts out to our patron, Maria Hammond, for this delightful boba mask here. I have the full costume, but you know, it's
a little hot.
Yeah,
a little
it
cumbersome.
felt like it'd be a little bit much for today.
For a whole
but
stream.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yep,
We got a whole bunch of weirdo news to talk
I
about.
like how disparate the things are, and I also like that the headline has nothing to do with Kendrick and Drake, but it could.
That's
if
all
you
we'll be
want me to
talking
talk
about
it,
today,
you put it
gang,
in there.
is the
'cause,
beef.
Man, he's been following it. We talked right before air. There's a lot going on.
Welcome to the grill.
This is my favorite, 48 hours in hip hop in 5 years. This is like the moment I found out John Cena was a Smith & Wesson's fan. Smith & Wesson is one of my favorite, nobody talks about him, and man, that made me happy. This feels like that.
This has been, it was my favorite 48 hours in beef, and then late last night it became this terrifying other thing entirely, and now I don't even know what's happening.
Now I'm in. I'm in the dark side.
People are firing real shots, and hatred is coming. Anyway, guys,
we'll talk about it maybe if you want us to.
We will only exclusively be talking about that, along with a couple of things from the headline and thumbnail. You know how we do. But first off, thank you guys for being here, for joining us, for driving our conversation. Because as you know, we're going to talk about the main movie news that's been popping off this week, but the large part of the conversation is going to be driven by your interests, your contributions. We very much appreciate them. Any super chat or Streamlabs contribution will be read. We will not leave this place.
Not a one missed or breezed over. We will dedicate ourselves to all of them.
That's right. Never end a stream without it. And hey, playback on these streams can be tough. So, if you like, leaving a like always helps, along with the Streamlabs and the super chats to make up for,
Also, comment later, because I actually like reading about your experience during this, and sometimes the live goes by so fast. Leave a comment, too. Might be able to check in and then reply to you lovely. So please, that's how we keep these things growing.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you all for being here last time, for contributing. Hopefully these lives will be a more consistent thing, but yeah. I think that's all the housekeeping. Coy!
Let's get into it.
Let's get into Beef Watch. That already has been taken. But what's going on in the movie news this week? I feel like there's been some beef.
There has.
In some other areas.
It would seem it's the World v. Dwayne Johnson of late.
Oh, no.
I feel like there's a cycle. Every few years there's that really nice guy's not so nice. And then it fades. And now it seems like it's the most specific of the not so nice.
It's hard to be a nice guy.
I am so biased. I'm a fan of The Rock, and I think he's, a titan of business and charm. He's the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. But, I don't love people that don't respect other people's time. So I, myself, was
I'll be right back, Coy.
See, that's my point. But I love John, so he gets 3 passes.
Hey, I just needed to grab my Voss water bottle.
No, you've already used it. Please dump your Voss water bottle.
I was going to say, there will be no more complaining on these streams about, length and needing to use the bathroom. Yeah, because we've got provisions for that just under this here table. You can't see it.
You think we like G Fuel for the sponsorship on the way in.
No.
It's because their big thermoses are good on the way out.
We're big on recycling.
Just all the way through. But I do think if the rumors are true about 5 to 8 hours, that is someone else's time, especially when you've got a movie set where you've got hundreds of people below the line that you don't even know the names of, and you've got people above the line that cost a lot of money per hour to be there because they themselves are a whole business. So I don't know how true it is. If it is true, 5 to 8 hours is absurd. if it's not true, sometimes you got to pee in a water bottle. Like the water bottle one to me is just funny because it's so visual. You know, you want a nice girthy bottle. It's really important to be able to not spill. Also, good lid for that sort of thing. But I do worry if it is true.
Dwayne knows a good lid when
he's really got to have it all
that
contained.
Particular brand of water.
It really is the most efficient bottle for this rumor.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I honestly think if it is true, that's unfortunate, and hopefully this is a wake up call for respecting others' time and boundaries. I obviously also love Ryan Reynolds, and there was a rumor that we were gonna get him as the big bad of the next Hobbs and Shaw. As you guys know, giant Fast and the Furious fan, and don't talk about it enough, but I'm a huge Chris Morgan fan, the writer of some of my favorite Fast and the Furious High.
Okay.
And that would have been Chris Morgan
plural.
working with, I think it is, like platypi. I think Chris Morgan working with Ryan Reynolds could have been a match made in heaven, so I really am bummed if that is the case. That said, it's the macro of this, that's the micro. The macro of this is I think there's always been drama. I think there's always been problems with people's egos. I don't love that The Rock has this losing a battle thing. I think that's a little silly. But I do
wonder about that.
It seems pretty, like when you watch his stuff, you're like, what? Come on, what is that? Like it does feel like he always has to win in like a very egotistical way.
Yeah. No, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
We're on the same page. It does seem like that is a likely
rumor
thing
seems
that
true.
is true. Yeah.
But I don't like how much we know about everyone's business in 2024. That's the macro for me is I think this town and any business works better because I consider this town a business when it's not about taking out a person, like an individual. It feels very much like he got, big for his britches and someone was like, well, everyone's got crap. Let me air his out. And I don't like the US Weekly TMZ of it all. And I think that we are more connected than ever, and that makes us more vitrolic than ever. And I think that makes everything more incendiary because we also have too much ability to invest in negativity. We got so many platforms for it. We have so much time for it. We have all this, we're all very upset because the world's on fire, so we want to take it out on things. I don't care about a man's urine habits, but I got to talk about it because that's the internet.
I feel like the thing about the bottles is one
It's
thing.
just funny.
And I feel like that would be, it's like if no other facet to this news was involved, I feel like everyone would just be like, oh, that's kind of kooky, but fun. Because then it just goes to serve that image he's already cultivated of like, I'm so dedicated and I'm always working and, I'm always trying to make things more efficient for the crew. Like in that sense, I'm like, sure, maybe that's a hyper, manifestation of that. However, when you couple it with the idea that he's, potentially 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours late to set, and that's the kind of lateness that is going to change the structure of your whole shoot pretty much.
And
one
budget.
day like that will change the structure of your shoot and budget. Multiple days like that, who knows? And so like it becomes funnier to me because then I'm like, This isn't gonna really meaningfully save anyone's time, buddy. What other things are you doing that are similar to this? That because now it just seems like you're trying the most extreme way to make up for your mistake,
right?
Which,
you did this to yourself.
You did this to yourself. Yeah. So I am surprised to hear the idea that again, Dwayne Johnson's brand is built on business and being, just on top of things and being, the kind of ultimate vision of like, man, you can maintain your body, you can be on your hustle, you can have a life.
Hardest worker in the room shows up 5 hours late. I don't love that dichotomy.
And so it does make me wonder because every veneer that any Hollywood actor has, no matter how squeaky clean or how, misanthropic, there's always some level of illusion. And this is the first time I've had sincere cause to be like, I wonder who Dwayne Johnson really is.
Yeah, and that is unfortunate because it is such a big presence and personality. And I've had, I've interacted with him 3 times and all of them have been huge positives, but it's always been in a setting where that makes the most sense. Like you're in a setup where, it's a press environment or a premiere environment or any of those things, but he is the guy that remembers your name from 5 years ago. He is the guy that is, really excited to talk about a thing. He's the guy that's very invested in your attention and time. And that is my experience, so I can't speak to being on set with him if he was late, that. So I'm just owning my bias. I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of how he's respected my time and how he's respected my energy. So I like the dude, but 5 to 8 hours. I was gonna say I was running late because I live in the Hollywood area and parking is insane, and I forgot I had to park a mile away. So I was gonna be here right on time, but which is 15 minutes early to make the live. But instead, I got here 2 minutes before. That 13 minutes bothered me so much that I was like, I'm so sorry. And, that's still early. So, that I think is how you want the entertainment industry to run ideally. But, time is money, and that's a tricky thing with people with this kind of schedule.
I'm just waiting for his response track now is all,
Man, it's about drive, it's about power.
And that's the thing is I wonder what his response is going to be, because I feel like Dwayne Johnson is the kind of guy who has to respond to something like this, who has to at least address this, not an assault on his image, but at least this questioning,
this commentary on his image.
And I mean, how many other movies has this happened with? Because obviously Red One is the one getting the most attention for the ballooning budget, as people like to say. And I mean, certainly some good advice a friend of mine gave me. If you get a chance, always do a Christmas movie, because they're always gonna make money. So
and they'll play every year.
The risk could be higher for a movie like that, even though it sounds like the budget is extreme. But my question just becomes, what other movies have, experienced this?
Yeah.
Was Black Adam, subject to something like this,
It didn't look more expensive than some other movies at its budget, so that's a question.
So, yeah, what do you guys think? Put it to you guys. And also, big thank you to everyone who's already submitted to the Super Chats. We will hop in ASAP, but why don't we do one more headliner before we open up to some Q&A? We got a lot of multifaceted headliners today. So, yeah, what's the Feige? What's the Feige beat?
The Feige beat is exciting because in this case, it deals with my boy Deadpool. Very excited to dive into this basically press tour ramping up. I think that Deadpool and Wolverine, the reshoots that just went down, were the traditional, additional photography that's scheduled in.
Traditional
additional photography. And I think that I've just been listening to so much, dude.
Dropping this.
I'm in
this
such
Monday.
a lyrical place. But I honestly think the news that Ryan pitched 25 versions of Deadpool 3 has me the most excited.
And 18 written treatments.
That means this man has spent all of the time after Deadpool 2. He's as dedicated now as he was the 11 years it get the first one to get made. I love that this isn't just putting Wolverine and Deadpool together. This is him knowing the importance of bringing Wolverine in, 1. 2, the importance of a third movie in a trilogy that is as good as it is, 2. And 3, the importance of bringing Deadpool into the MCU and the state of where we are transitioning into Secret Wars. This man has not tired. He is that gif with the fire on the pin, and he is just going,
that
making
was almost
incredible.
A bar right there. Not tired with the fire.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Just had to let you know.
I'm at it, and I'm listening constantly. But I think that quote really excites me. I also love that Kevin Feige is so invested in Logan that he did not want Hugh Jackman to return because of that actual send-off. Because I agree. I think one of the best endings, and if you guys follow me on this channel, you know that I advocate for never bringing back Chris Evans, Downey, or Scarlet. As much as I love them, I think it would undermine their arcs.
That Chris is about to come back again?
As Human Torch.
Okay.
I want that. No, it's not the rumor, but that's my rumor. That's my headcanon.
But everywhere.
I want Chris Evans to show up in Deadpool and Wolverine and everyone to be like, oh my God, where's the shield? And then him be like, flame on, and just take off and never be seen again. I want just cameos that are just for us. But I think the Logan love is strong with me as well, where I'm like, Downey Jr. had the perfect ending, Evans, Scarlet, and for me, Hugh Jackman's ending in Logan is so perfectly bittersweet, and I'm so glad they found a way to not undermine that. And I love that at the top, even though Kevin Feige loves X-Men maybe more than anything, and even though Kevin Feige worked with the man 20 years ago, 24 years ago, he's the one that demanded the comic accurate hair. Like, Kevin Feige was on set to make that happen. This is his, encore. Like, this is Kevin Feige getting things to come full circle. And even with his personal investment was like, for the better of the story, don't do that. And I love that. That's integrity as a producer, and I love the man.
Well, and I love to hear actually, funny enough, even though it is like an excessive number, I'm sure the numbers aren't as excessive, probably as compared to a lot of other movies. and there are probably a bunch of other movies where you wish they had pitched 25 times before.
Yes.
You know, it's one of those things where I feel kind of I feel good hearing that almost because it sounds like a ton of blood, sweat, tears, passion, and effort went into this.
Yeah.
And I liked in that article hearing Kevin Feige basically say, you know, like, Ryan's been working on this nonstop. He's pitched me all these different things. Some of them were like, here's a $10 million like indie movie, and here's a Rashomon
so
where it's like from multiple perspectives. And you know,
Who do you think the third was going to be?
That-
Wolverine, Deadpool.
I think it'd be really funny if it was Vanessa.
Oh, that'd be
And
great.
it was just,
And it's her jealous of how much like Deadpool
Yeah.
is spending time with Wolverine,
Yeah.
like his man crush on Wolverine.
yeah, exactly, and like really take that opportunity to make her like a fully perspectivized
Oh, that's
character.
fun. I
And
like
then
that.
yeah, and then because too, like especially in like a post Barbie world, I feel like you could do a lot with that.
Oh
but,
yeah,
but
and
yeah.
and kind of unfridge her
yeah,
because
exactly.
they fridge the hell out of her in 2, give her a leading role in 3.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that take. Yeah, Rashomon with the 3 of them would have been amazing.
Yeah, and so like hearing him talk about those pitches, just makes you go like, man, like how badly I would love to see some of those takes come to life. But also him saying, you know, and then I would pitch him, you know, something. He would be pitching me something low budget, so I would pitch him something that was like higher budget or maybe mid budget, and so I got the sense that this was very much a creative collaboration in figuring out what and how to do Deadpool. And he said he wasn't even thinking about bringing in Deadpool or mutants at the time that this all kind of fell into his lap. So like, it gets me excited for the artistry, you know,
Of
because,
what they landed on.
yeah,
of so many things.
because we are so kind of used now to the conveyor belt and to the committee and all that stuff.
And I think that this isn't one of those properties that was like, okay, we've got to get from A to K. We need a movie that's I, and then later on we'll figure out J. Like this feels like it's not part of. It feels like it's part of the universe without being part of, like you said, the conveyor belt. And,
Yeah.
and that means we're going to get the best possible version, not a version that allows for Secret Wars. It might connect to it, but not at the cost of it. And I'm really excited for, you know, the press tour because I'm hoping we find out some of these other 25 pitches. Like the fact that we know 2 of them and they're like a $10 million Linklater film and a Rashomon. I'm so invested in what these other ones were.
I
And
just
now I'm
want-
on a mission to ask Ryan. Like, I want to befriend Ryan Reynolds more than ever, and that's
Do
saying
it,
something.
man. Sign up for Mint Mobile and give him a call.
I'm like, hey, man, and I get his gin, and I actually, you know what? When I was at Screen Junkies, he did send in a crate of gin, and one of them was for my birthday because I worked on one of the Please Explain Deadpools. So I have gotten birthday gin from the man, but I haven't sat down with him since R.I.P.D. 12 years ago.
oh man.
So I got to ask the man himself.
I gotta see R.I.P.D.
I've never done press with
man.
Ryan in all these years,
Really?
which is statistically improbable.
Dizzle, dude, you are overdue. You need it. It's on your
Deadpool
bucket
3.
list.
Now it's even higher. That's what I'm saying, though. It's already like number 1. Now it's like infinite.
Koi pool.
Come on, man.
Heck yeah. Well, and I mean,
Manifesting.
You know, maybe one day this will get us one step closer to my. I think if you've paid enough attention to my wishes across various hypothetical questions on
Solomon
this channel,
Grundy.
I just want Solomon Grundy in the MCU. You know, that's the amalgamated universe catalyst I think no one will see coming. And no, I besides Solomon Grundy, what I want is like I want a version of anything that can be mapped over before midnight. So like,
Oh, yeah.
or before sunset,
Yeah, the
sunrise,
Linklater.
whichever the first one.
Yeah.
Midnight is the third one. Before sunrise.
Sunrise, because they're only together for one day, and he has to
Yes.
catch the train.
Yes.
Sunrise.
I want that, but a comic book movie. So part of me thinks
Sunrise,
like,
sunset,
man, if
midnight.
we had had like a before sunrise with Logan and Wade.
That's what I want Spider-Man to
think
be,
that would
dude.
be very
I want the
fun.
next Spider-Man to be like a Gwen Stacy, Tom Holland story where it's like before sunrise and Tom Holland just gets to act.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be nice. And you put a camera in his butt again.
Yeah.
But it also too makes me wonder about the writing changes because you know they did get Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick back, and they had an initial pair of writers. So I wonder if even that wasn't. I remember a couple years ago them saying like, "Oh, the script is being written, and we got different writers this time," and then people had their feelings about that, and then you know a lot of time passed, and then Reese and Wernick came back, and like I wonder if those weren't maybe even full script drafts, but just those treatments or things like that. But I don't know. I'm glad to have some movie news that gets me excited for like the actual nuts and bolts artistry.
Same, man.
Yeah.
It feels good to be talking about making movies, not just like a reaction to them being done.
Which hypothetical Deadpool pitch would you like to have seen come to life? Leave it in the chat. and then independently, you guys also then pay attention to all those and vote on your favorite. By
Ooh,
the
I like
end.
that. I like that.
This is your assignment.
Make a Deadpool pitch or pick your favorites. Also, what up, Galaxy Geeks in the live chat?
Absolute vodka.
Aisha Kenya, a lot of the OGs. Christian Unpronounceable.
Oh yeah, and yes, anything involving the water bottle on the thumbnail was intentional.
And the bottle in the yellow background. I appreciate the Voss overfloweth. Was
I'm
that
glad
intentional? 'Cause
my
that's what I.
subtle humor
Oh,
read.
it translated very
I'm
well.
glad that subtle choice read to everybody. 'Cause
Charlie,
that's
it's time.
Exactly what
I'm
I
gonna
was
audition
going
for a Cyclops variant. As long as they give me Voss in my contract.
All right, we got one more kind of big headliner story to talk about before we hop into the super chats. Again, thank you guys so much for contributing already. We're gonna jump in just a mo, but we got some regrets in the MCU right now. Coy, what's going on?
No regrets.
No regrets.
I love this because it shows an investment. And you know what? Like, this is one of those quotes that I feel like it was definitely said flippantly that we're now like extrapolating on. But I like
Chris
that it's
Hemsworth has Alzheimer's.
Yeah, like Chris Hemsworth.
He's retired from Hollywood. He's dead now.
He's like, I'm gonna spend some time with my family. He is never working.
He is never ever working.
But I do think this is very sweet of him to acknowledge the fandom and say, like, hey, I've been thinking about this to a point, and I let you down, gang. He basically said that he doesn't like where Thor left off because he thinks he went a little too heavy into the spoof and parody in Love and Thunder, and he doesn't want to end his tenure as Thor that way. So I love that this feels like, obviously a guy wants to, play in that universe some more, but also he has a goal to end it with some closure and end on a high note. And in the age of us judging directors, actors, whoever is being like, well, the high-paying jobs are all in the MCU, they're just taking a paycheck. It's nice to hear a guy that's already made his paycheck a few times over be like, no, I want this to be with honor. Like, I feel like it's very Thor of him to be like, I would like to end this well for Asgard.
Well, that and also coming that sort of full circle, or at least, I guess a fifth movie could bring it full circle. But going from those earlier comments he said about like the first movie and the Avengers feeling like, I'm just kind of like a bodyguard. I'm just the suit. I'm just the muscles. I'm not really much of like anybody could play this character. And so watching him go from that and then, doing a bit more of the dramatic side in like the Dark World and everything. But like Ragnarok, I think, is where everybody sort of got to see like, oh yeah, like this is what's special. This is how this guy can fully embrace the role and all that. And so, yeah, I sympathize with him, and I really appreciate what he said there because I think it takes a lot, and especially in an age where, like everything is NDA'd and stuff. Like,
yeah.
To be able to say, like, hey, I don't think I hit the mark, because every artistic piece, every play, every movie you make, you're going to have notes for yourself. And so, yeah, that idea of, like, maybe I didn't hit the mark with this, and if the fans will have me, I would love to come back and, I feel like he's in a position to say, I want to take everything I've learned from this experience.
And grow it.
And come back with, something that really does justice to the meat of the character while also not losing the fun because and talking about, him saying, like it's like Ron Howard gave me the chance with Rush to do something different,
right?
To do something that actually utilizes like my
actor.
creative chops. And then I thought of like Bad Times at the El Royale, which Drew
Very
Goddard also on that. Yeah, exactly. And like he's so eerie in that movie and stuff. So like I would personally like even as somebody who enjoys Love and Thunder for my own reasons, I can definitely understand how you would feel like, yeah, maybe we got too lost in the improv, too lost in the rambling of the comedy, and maybe didn't fully kind of round this movie out
so interesting
as a character journey.
Is they chose that story to be a comedy. Like for me, it's not even that comedy was. I mean, the comedy is not my type of comedy. I'm actually one of the people that doesn't love Ragnarok all the way. I know it's blasphemous to say.
Blasphemy, Coy! I'm dropping my beef track tonight.
It's about your being neutral to Ragnarok, not even hating it, being neutral. But I do think that adapting a Jason Aaron run and adapting Gore the God Butcher to a comedy, real weird. Apparently our volume is a little low.
I'm going to crank it as high as possible.
Now we're Gore the God Butcher of your ears.
Yes.
Coy and John, ear butchers. But I do think that, finding the right story and finding the right tone to conclude it is kind of the opposite of a lot of the actors that have come out lately and been like, Marvel ruined my... Like, when Ray Winstone came out, I got no problem with him being honest and him being like, they didn't treat me well, I hate the cut that came out, like, this isn't my jam. I do love also hearing the other side of that, is like, the movie's not what I want to end on, let me double down. I think both are fair, and I think a lot of the times we forget that these actors are people that carry this around with them, and that when they leave set, they are encountering fans, and they are like, you don't want to be a guy that's like, oh, the last time he played Thor really broke my heart. Like, you don't want to carry that around. So I love that he thinks about it. So yeah, I'm excited.
Well, yeah, and especially being, you know, part of the core team, I feel like, yeah, you would want to, and watching other people get their mic drop moments and stuff like that, I feel like you would definitely, if it was me, I would be itching to, go one more and to really leave my stamp on it and to leave it all on the table.
He wants his end game.
He
that
does,
the other big
man.
three got. Two of the big three. Like, he watched the other two of the big three get their end game, and he went, you know what I'm going to do? Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Give him his end game.
Well, and I mean, so much of the things that happen, in Infinity War and Endgame, like, involve him, but are, like, directly impacting other characters, and he is kind of processing all that. But yeah, it's not exactly
and it's beautiful.
About him.
It's good storytelling.
Yeah.
But he needs now to have his big moment.
Yeah, for sure. What do you guys think, gang? Are you looking forward to one more go from Chris, the best Chris? And what else would you like to see him do? I'm curious. Where do you want those chops to go? I also saw a comment in the comments about Anna Sawai potentially playing Psylocke. That could be cool.
You know, I want Olivia Munn to at least get her, like, goodbye moment.
Sure.
Because she learned martial arts for years, and she basically learned, like, swordplay and invested heavily into the comics. Like, she was training for Psylocke and then basically got sidelined because the way the movie went. And a lot of characters got sidelined, but, you know, as far as training and being that invested, I'd love at least she gets, like, a goodbye. One of my favorite little 15-second clips is Ryan Reynolds and her, like, she's, like, doing all this awesome swordplay, and then Ryan Reynolds has a inflatable, like, balloon sword and bops her in the head. And I'm like, that's so Deadpool and Psylocke. I want at least recreate that meme for the five of us that love that clip. Like, that's enough. But Olivia Munn, justice for Olivia Munn.
Justice for Munn, gang. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you again for we already have an embarrassment of
riches,
chats of riches, and that's all thanks to you guys and your generosity being here with us on a Saturday morning, or Saturday afternoon now. But you know, you're missing the cartoons, all right? And
it's also Free Comic Book Day, and me being here is out of love for Reject Nation. I have never missed a Free Comic Book Day in my 31 years of Free Comic Book Day, or however many I've done. But yeah, I'm doing it after. So if you live in LA, keep your eyes peeled. You might see me on the streets of comic book stores.
You might see me in
darting in and out of these stores.
In these, how many colors are comics?
They're called 4-color. Like, that's
in these 4-color streets.
4-color streets. You're gonna hear me, like, bopping along to Kendrick, just popping in and out of Earth 2, Golden Apple, and House of Secrets. Like, eyes peeled.
Is Judd still at Earth 2?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Judd?
Yeah, Liam's still at House of Secrets. Obviously, Ryan's still at Golden Apple. We got our
gang.
OGs.
Support your favorite comic book stores today, people. And hey, leave some recommendations in your locality, and maybe somebody else in the live stream chat will stop in. Support the industry. And just thanks to all you who are in here. Charlie836, Louis Berry, Christian Unpronounceable, Aisha Kenya, Rogue Goose, Sky the Magnanimous, Nora Mac, Chuck Naranjo, all you guys. I wish I could read everyone's name. Deadshot, Living Dead Girl. I'm a big Rob Zombie fan. So
Living Dead Girl, respect the name.
Absolutely.
In italics, no less.
How'd you do that?
I don't know how to do that. I feel like it's the only one. It's impressive.
How'd you do that? All right, let's jump into some super chats. Let's make some technical adjustments first, though.
Ready.
Oh, look at that.
Ready.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Rogue Goose and also with you.
Look at that.
Oh, it's there.
Look at how beautiful the whole live stream has become in mere moments.
I just want to, before we even read one, thank the live stream for giving us the platform to talk about Kendrick and Drake. The first two out the gate.
The first.
Kendrick and Drake is what I want to talk about. You know I love Marvel. You know I love DC. I don't get to talk about this anywhere, so thank you.
I'm very excited, and I will let you. I will let you finish. But it does bring, as savage as this has all become, very quickly. It is fascinating to behold a moment where I do feel like I am paying attention to this, and like I listen to these guys to some degree. I probably listen. I've invested more time in listening to like albums worths of Kendrick Lamar before. I catch Drake every now and again on singles and things. But this is the first time in a long time I've been like directly focused on them, and any update I'm like, I gotta hear
Twitter.
this. I gotta see somebody's reaction to this. I gotta see a breakdown about this, and I feel like this is that Euphoria got like almost 10 million streams the day it dropped, and I'm like, the world is watching.
I don't watch reaction videos. Like, I just am not. It's not my medium. It's not my thing. I spent 2 hours.
It is your medium, Coy.
Well, I output
it is your medium.
I output it. I would argue that people that make certain things probably don't consume them in direct proportion.
That's
like,
true.
I don't think.
I have, my own diet of YouTube things I
watch.
watch.
My TikTok has zero comic book content.
And
I don't watch anything comics. I'm making so much.
I realized the other day, this is the kind of reaction that I watch the most just naturally.
I also don't watch other people's comic book reviews because I don't want their opinions to sully mine. I've never, and I can say honestly, I have never not read a comic or not watched a movie because of someone's negative review of something, ever. I've never been like, oh, people don't like that movie, I'm skipping it. I have, however, if word of mouth gets big enough about a comic or a movie, gone to it. So I don't like watching reviews because I'd rather the natural, like, the cream rises to the top of quality surprise me than be like, ooh, I feel differently about this. So I don't watch reactions, I don't read reviews, I don't watch reviews because I want my untainted.
You exist in a vacuum.
But I tell you what, I've been watching reactions to this. I've been watching people break down these lyrics. I've been watching people just get the surprise. I've been watching, like, man, I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Also, someone asking, where's Greg? I'm just Greg in a John costume right now. But nah, Greg's out here. He's hustling. He's making things possible for all of us. He's here in spirit, though. Give a round of applause for Greg. And say on, let's start these super chats. All bullshit aside, thank you for contributing and for kicking us off. Kendrick Lamar or Drake? Kendrick just killed Drake with 3 tracks back to back to back, and Drake lyrically can't keep up. Roman thumbs down. What do you think, Coy?
I agree. Kendrick, like, it's not even like a contest. Like, I don't even think. I mean, I think it's a battle, but it's like, it's. I mean, I said online, it's if you want a steak and you go to Outback Steakhouse, you're getting a steak, but it's not a steak. Like, it's sure, you're doing your best.
Coy.
If you get a filet mignon at Outback Steakhouse, that's the best they have. But then you can just go to a steakhouse.
You can go to Ruth's Chris.
Kendrick's out here making steak. So for me, it's been a battle of no disrespect to pop culture, no disrespect to mainstream, but if I want to experience a film, I'm going to watch something from Fincher. I'm not going to watch the latest Transformers movies. Drake is always going to be a Transformer.
Except for the Transformers, the movie reaction that went up on the channel today with Aaron and Andrew.
But they were in expectation of that. They knew what they were getting.
Exactly.
Sometimes you want Drake. Sometimes you want to watch Transformers. Sometimes you want cinema.
Sometimes you want someone to make you dance.
And, you know, it's just a different vibe. And I respect that Drake made his version of a diss track, but his version of a diss track is still like a poppy chorus and an A-B rhyme scheme with only a final use of the way the rhyme lands. Like
it's not doing a lot of tundras.
A final rhyme is already pretty monosyllabic. If you're doing final rhymes where it lands only at the tail end of your stanza and maybe an A-B rhyme scheme within the parentheses, that is like fine. That's adequate. But if you're actually doing slant rhymes, hitting an A-B per verse, if you're doing an ABC back to BCA rhyme scheme like Kendrick does, if you're hitting like middle entendres that reflect back to old stuff, if your title has 7 different meanings that all tie into you and the person you're beefing with, that's like trying to compete with someone that makes art while you're using crayons. Like, crayons can be art, but you got to learn. You got to get there. If you're going to do lyrical gymnastics, you got to at least be on the varsity team, and he's at the Olympics. And I'm sorry. It's just, he's trying to get to varsity.
Michael Bay and Denis Villeneuve are duking it out right now on the beef tracks. So it's happening.
Yeah, but that's kind of what it is. One of them's Logan and one of them is X-Men's Origins Wolverine. They both have Wolverine in it, but one of them's a movie and one's a film. Like, I'm going to watch one for cinema, and I'm going to laugh at one being catchy at times. It's an attempt to find little moments and jabs, and it's an attempt to be relevant. Like, I think Drake, honestly, is a fantastic pop star. I think he is so good at making incredible music that you can vibe to. But if I want to go to the club, I'm going to listen to Drake, and I don't really like the club. If I want to drive around in my car and go like, God damn, I'm going to listen to Kendrick. If I want to talk about hip-hop, I'm going to listen to Kendrick. If I want to experience a different thought process, I'm going to listen to Kendrick. So it's like, is it even a battle if one of these guys is making pop and one of these guys is making art?
Well, and it also makes you wonder, too, like, are there leaks in the camp because of how rapid this has all become and how, like, directly personal and how like, savagely pointed so many things are? Because, you know, there have been so many really grim accusations now on both sides that, like, it's funny. When what was it? Push-Ups came out, and the tailor-made freestyle and all the AI like the tailor-made freestyle was diabolical. Aside from you know, the use of the AI being ick,
that fucked me up, dude.
4D
I did not
chess,
like that.
though, like to do that after all the T-Pab, like, you know, Tupac conversation, like to bring all that in is diabolical. And then Euphoria drops, and you're like, damn, this is multi-phased. This pretty much just takes Drake to task on everything we know up to this point. And then, like, that was when I was having fun, and I was like, oh my god, and now since then it has crossed over into something like completely different and like way angrier and way more
and now I'm
grim.
invested.
And now I'm sort of like, I don't know who's gonna walk away from this, and I've already seen this sentiment in the chat, but like, and there it is again, goddamn, J. Cole must be breathing.
Oh, I'm so
happy
he's the
for
smartest
Cole.
man. Cole is so comfy right now.
Happy for
He's
Cole.
riding his bike around somewhere, just like bopping, dude, like ignoring everything. I mean, personally, I also think that it's really interesting that he has said, Kendrick has said he has people in his camp leaking stuff, but even if he doesn't, he's so far ahead of Drake that, like, that line about, you know, calculating his next angle, obviously that's a better bit of wordplay than any of the stuff that Drake put out. But
ask
his
your
next
core audience to stomach where you get your abs from.
Dude, yes, and the Ozempic receipts on the cover of the diss track. But that
whole family rundown and Meet the Grams, like, ugh.
The knowing his next angle line
And Family Matters went
and
hard.
Family Matters
too.
went hard. No, respect to Drake. It's the
I will
best.
say this is the most like compelled I have been on all levels by Drake's output. Ever.
The last two have been the most I've liked Drake since when Drake dropped in like 2013 when he was like with Eminem and stuff. Like, I like that Drake, but it's a song, it's a bop. But those last two tracks feel hard, especially for Drake, and I respect him. But it's going against Kendrick, and so what I was saying about the angle.
Told Cole, don't go to school. Oh my god, we will move on to another topic.
We will.
Soon, I promise. But oh my god, dude.
But I think the angle element is like he had that song written and ready to drop.
Yeah.
And knew exactly bar for bar what Drake was going to come at. And then Drake, even with that time to make that music video in the van and all that stuff, Drake still was just kind of scattershotting. Like, why'd he take shots at Riri? Why'd he take shots at ASAP? Like, why is he going at all these people when, like, you've got the surgical precision of an actual lyricist only angling at every point of what Drake is, and Drake's coming out like, I think everybody doesn't like me. And then, like, I won't obviously have a lot to say on the matter with, you know, my perspective. I'm a white boy from, like, you know, I don't know what the black experience is in America, but when you come out the gate after someone says, like, hey, you know, that word coming out of your mouth is weird, and then he comes out and it sounds like a white dude trying to say it, like, I can say that. That was embarrassing to me.
Deadbeat who should never say more life. Just like, the way he's throwing his titles and his shit back at him, and there's been plenty of Mr. Morale clowning.
Oh,
too,
dude,
like,
yeah. But all of it feels so surface comparatively to me.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing. Is like, we'll get moving, but yeah.
Thank you, chat, for giving us this opportunity. It's been living inside me.
It's raising the bar, certainly, although it does feel like now we're in a missile fight, and I fear that this will not end until there's just a scorched crater where both of these guys
I love how wholesome
used to
you are.
be.
I love how good. Like, I genuinely was invested before, and then Family Matters came out, and I was like, oh, now you have my attention.
Yeah.
And then Meet the Grams came out, and I was like, this is some hit 'em up. This is some no Vaseline. This is some real hip hop. Because hip hop has been in a rut for the last like 10 years for me. Once SoundCloud came out, and once Spotify allowed all these like these weak rappers to get some sort of audience, it's been embarrassing. And now it feels like the 90s. It feels like when rap had purpose and was actually politically driven and is actually about adversity and coming out of stuff. These guys aren't talking about their jewels, really. They're showing them, but they're not talking about like getting girls. They're talking about, I got girls and I'm better than you at taking care of them.
And what kind of girls are you seeking to get?
Yes! Dude, this is like real hip hop.
This could be a whole other live stream. You know,
If you guys want John and Coy's,
you want a pro bono live stream later today, let us know. But anyway, next topic. Okay. Stin Wave, thank you so much. We got another Kendrick question. What do you expect from the Kendrick Lamar and South Park collab? That is a fascinating little combo there. I'll just go first. I have no idea what to expect, really.
Kendrick's working with South Park?
Yeah, he's working with Trey and Matt on some kind of musical thingy.
Oh!
Yeah, they're going to collab on some type of, I believe, I don't know if it's a staged thing. I'll do
Like
a little
Coogler
bit
and Kendrick did for like Black Panther? Like that sort of, is it going to be like a musical?
I think it seems like they're actually making like a reel. It says here from Hollywood Reporter, South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker are set to do a live-action comedy with Kendrick Lamar at Paramount. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. It says
Very intriguing.
They've been working on the script since about 2022. That was announced. And obviously, Trey and Matt have plenty of experience with musicals from South Park to their stage stuff, Book of Mormon, all that.
Cool.
But, I don't know. I mean, I guess all that I would imagine is something that's probably going to be something with a sharp, politically satirical edge, certainly rap fueled. I almost wonder if it'll be some kind of Hamilton snipe of some
That'd be
kind.
interesting. A commentary on that subgenre that's kind of come up.
But yeah, that would be fascinating either. Like, I'm fascinated by the combination, and as long as Kendrick lives through this, I'll be excited to see what they come up with, because that's a common. I definitely dip into South Park sometimes. I'm not the biggest South Park fan, but I definitely dip in there sometimes, and I feel like this is a combination that could easily bear some interesting fruit. So yeah, leave us your thoughts. What do you guys think are going to be the outcome for this Kendrick and Trey Parker Matt Stone collab? I blame everything on Cat Williams.
Dude, Cat Williams opened
Williams
the
really
gate.
did open
He
the
really
floodgates,
just caused
man.
some animosity.
He opened up the armory. Christian Unpronounceable, again, thank you guys. I apologize for spending so much time on that first question. It's been the main topic of everything this entire week.
It's taken over by Free Comic Book Day. The fact that I woke up this morning and
taken
didn't
over
look.
May the 4th.
Yeah. It's bigger than Star Wars or comics right now. I woke up and like re-explored so many lyrics that I was like, what did I interpret? Like, I'm having such a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Much love.
Atlas, we got Christian Unpronounceable. Thank you, buddy. You were one of the first people on the stream today. Appreciate the music conversation has started about 20 minutes ago, but we're moving into movies. Christian Unpronounceable would like to know, are you guys interested in Atlas? I cannot wait for it. You have just hipped me to the idea that Atlas exists, and apparently it is a bleak, in a bleak-sounding future where an AI soldier has determined the only way to end war is to end humanity.
Oh.
It's a Brad Payton joint.
Is that Jennifer Lopez?
I believe that is Jennifer Lopez. Brad Payton, Rampage producer, director of a handful of titles that I am just now pulling. Oh, San Andreas. There you go. He's a big Dwayne Johnson buddy.
Oh yeah,
Good
he
times
did like
for
4
that.
in a row with him. Yeah, I know that name.
Yeah, and it's Jennifer Lopez. Simu is in it. Sterling K. Brown is in it. A few other folks. Mark Strong.
Anything Sterling K. Brown does, I'm in. I wasn't interested at all until you said Sterling K. Brown. Now, Atlas, on my list.
I'm curious, just based off this little graphic that's playing right now, the poster, the log line. I'm curious. It's a Netflix movie, and it's about AI, very topical. Oh, hey, first super chat for GG. We will get to you ASAP. I think this could go either way. The imagery I'm seeing looks cool, but I've also seen a lot of, like, the only solution to humanity is to wipe out humanity.
They've never done that story.
And we're in a AI-centric time where I'm sure a lot of AI-centric stories are going to be popping off, but at least as of these images, could be cool. It's definitely one that I would kind of wait. I guess if I was taking in this trailer raw, I would be like, let me see what the responses are before.
Apparently the dialogue's a little rough, according to the chat. Also, much respect and love to Juice WRLD. I see you. But I think Atlas is a cast that I'd check out. The visuals do look a little like a spoof of a movie. But like with that cast, I assume the script is at least good enough.
Tomorrow War vibes from this.
Yeah,
this
that's
imagery.
And I like Tomorrow More a little bit more than most, but the copycat scents have been pretty
I didn't
weak.
even hate that movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got good enjoyment out of it.
I
but
won't
yeah.
watch it a lot, but I sure did like it that time. But yeah, I will check it out because Sterling K. Brown, but it's not like Netflix movies are about 1 in 10 for me. Like when they hit, you hear about it. Actually, that's a great example of when I hear enough word of mouth about a Netflix movie, then I'm in. But if someone says that movie sucks, it's not going to deter me if I was already in. Like Netflix just has to rise to the top because they make so much.
Yep. David, I haven't spoken about the Cobra Kai announcement yet, but if it comes up, we will talk about it.
Stoked for it.
Ethan T, thank you for being here, and thank you so much for just a lovely sentiment. Ethan says, thank you for helping me through hard times. Much love. Absolutely. I don't know. I mean, that's always one of those things that you kind of hope is like, if we could just make your day a little bit better, then everything else is gravy. So really appreciate you saying that. It means a lot. And yeah, you know, it's like our favorite, you know, channels and entertainment and stuff, like they make the days easier to get through on this end. So we're right there with you, and I'm glad that we're able to bring some of that energy to you. So thank you for chiming in. Really appreciate that
What
very
he said.
much. By the way, I'm going to drink this Chucky branded G Fuel, and if anybody wants Chucky season 4, you know, go call that number. It's been trending on Twitter all week. So go tell them you want more Chucky, because Tara Erickson and Roxy Stryer have been reacting to the whole movie franchise on the channel, and it's my hope that someday we might all converge to check out the end of the show.
Oh,
But
that's fun.
Either way, the show's great. Go support that. Marb, my favorite Sin City character, thank you for joining in the Super Chats.
Not Marv.
Not Marv. Marb. This is the asylum to not Matt Reeves. This is the asylum to Matt Vaughn's Marv.
Marb.
Yeah. It's just going to be all parody movies of his. Love to know you guys are hip-hop fans as well as comics. If you chose a rapper to do the title track for Secret Wars, who would it be?
Oh, man.
Ooh, Secret Wars title track rap.
I think
Anthony
Kendrick
Mackie.
Cut the check.
Yeah.
I think Kendrick really suited Black Panther, but I think that you need someone a little bit more. I hate to say broad or
Jack Harlow.
Well, you need someone
Everyone loves Jack Harlow.
I think the specificity of Kendrick is a strength for not something like Secret Wars. I think Secret Wars needs to be broad appeal, and I can't think of anyone that I think is worthy.
Hits, if you want to hear about the Kendrick Drake beef, just scroll back about 20 minutes.
Yeah, we were invested
we did a
for
whole
a while
thing on it when we had to rein ourselves in from talking about it. There's plenty of that content in the stream.
I think Kendrick's the closest. I think J. Cole's actually pretty. I mean, we just talked about him because he's being smart and staying over here. I think J. Cole's very approachable, but he's also like a lyrical genius, but he's a bit more approachable, and his style and his beats are a little bit more approachable. I think that you want someone that can use the wordplay in the comic book space. And honestly,
Tyler.
like Eminem's a huge hip hop head. And obviously a hip hop head. A huge comic book head. You know that Eminem loves
Rap Boy. And, he did the whole Marsha, that music video where they're the superhero. He's Rap Boy, and Dr. Dre
is Dark Knight.
Yeah.
You know, actually it'd be good because he's got broad appeal. He loves comics, and he loves making stuff that's like versatile in the space. I think Childish Gambino would be great for Secret Wars.
Sure.
Because like it would be funny, cheeky, a lot of puns. He'd use the wordplay about the characters, and everyone can like. A child is very listenable. Usually.
Tech 9.
Dude, Tech 9 would get through with the entire saga. He would just like he would do a summary like what's his name from Ant-Man, but like it'd be the whole saga summarized.
Secret Wars has to do with like you know the convergence of all these people like hiding in plain sight, and like I don't know. I mean, it'll never happen. My choice is always Aesop Rock.
I mean, that'd be existentially crazy.
That dude's rhymes and songcraft is just so labyrinthine that I feel like it would very much fit. You know, that kind of a intricate story, but at the same time, you know, not the most marketable rapper.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of, marketability, but also skill, and that's a tricky line
Give
to
it
walk.
to J. Cole, people. Give it to J. Cole. Give it to Lupe Fiasco or somebody. Mustafa Jav. Hey, leave it in the comments. I would love to hear that. Aside from Eminem, who do you guys want to do the rap theme for Secret Wars? Lay it on us. Mustafa Jav. Thank you for jumping in here. Ooh, Coy, why don't you read this one off?
We got MCU fan idea. Magneto is an Iraqi who survives the bombing campaign in Baghdad 2003 and taken to Abu Ghraib, where he meets a guilt-stricken Wolverine prior to them planning a great escape. Also, Method Man shout out. I don't know if he's approachable enough, but Method Man. I mean, one, I want him to play Bishop, but two, a Method Man track in Secret Wars would be incredible.
Boom.
Or just dude, wait,
Kid
wait,
Cudi.
wait, I'm an idiot. Okay. Secret Wars is about combining a force of nature between
will be right back,
universes.
Mustafa.
And within those universes, they all have different styles and meanings. Within all those different multiverses, you come together to achieve a great force, some sort of union, some sort of group, some sort of clan. Forever. Wu-Tang is for the children. Wu-Tang Secret Wars all day. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I cannot believe I didn't think of Wu-Tang.
Dude,
you'd have different lyricists
36
doing
chambers of the
different
multiverse.
Right? It's all right there. It literally was right in front of us. We go to the
got
streets
there.
of Shaolin,
We
and then we
got
go
there.
from there
We
right to
got
Kamartage.
Oh my god.
I want this so bad now.
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang. Guys, Wu-Tang is doing Secret Wars by request.
Let's go.
Sorry, I really left the trail there. I got so excited.
All good.
Magneto as an Iraqi veteran who survives the Baghdad and meets up with Wolverine, helping him plan an escape. I love that idea. I think that is fantastic. I also think it would be a good way to build out basically... I want these characters to feel like they're lived in and have history, and I also want the characters to feel like they've been here before or they've been in a universe before. Like, they need to feel like we're not just like... Since they don't seem to be using the blip as like an activation of the X gene, which I thought they were going to do with Ms. Marvel, they may still. But if they don't do that, I really like the idea of having them kind of like been in hiding for a while and then rise up. So this is a fun take.
I like this take a lot, and I mean, I feel like I am oft looking forward to the day that I don't know, like more of these kinds of stories are possible, or where like we're so used to the movie characters that then we can start really exploring the latitude of what kind of movies they can exist in. And certainly, you think back to the beginning of the first X-Men with the Holocaust background and all that stuff, so you would like port it over with this take into a more recent time, I guess. But
I'm curious if they go, the obviously parallels that are more modern but still not modern is everybody talks about the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X for Xavier and Magneto, and I'm really curious if they make a modern take on the commentary of certain injustices now, or if they keep the Holocaust injustices, which are still relevant now, but age up the characters.
Absolutely. Metro plays the drums. Rhett, I'll give that one to Drake. Rhett Proctor, thank you for chiming in on the chat. Hey, Coy and John. With Azazel appearing in the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, it seemingly makes the X-Men reboot timeline canon. Who would you both like to see return for some redemption? Who is my man who is in Twilight? And he's in, I think, First Class. He's like indestructible and then gets destroyed.
Oh, Eddie Gathagi.
Yes.
He's Darwin in it.
Darwin.
Who cannot be destroyed and
Justice-
is immediately destroyed. I can evolve
Justice
to
for
anything.
Darwin.
Eddie Gathagi, Justice. He's Mr. Terrific now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he got
All right.
Justice by being his
Justice
own
for- okay.
huge character over
Okay.
there. Yeah, no, he's
right.
he's in a good spot. You know how much I love Mr.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Eddie Gathagi should get Justice, though, because that's a fantastic pull. Who do I want from the Fox universe? I want Storm to, if instead of bringing in a bunch of people, which they will, and give a few moments, I want Storm to get at least a couple moments as an actual queen, a goddess, a dialogue deliverer, as opposed to a witty spitter. I also think that Cyclops as a leader, maybe like, throwing out some commands and feeling like a tactician. For me, it's more about like the characters getting moments that feel like their character as opposed to just throwing characters out there. Because I know we're going to get a lot of cameos, but I want the moments with them to feel of import.
Yeah.
And I guess of these, I've said before, the cameo I want to see most is Channing Tatum as Gambit. But of characters we've already seen, I would love to see Daphne Keane as X-23 get some justice.
That's a good one. Doug Ray Scott, Wolverine.
Dude, that'd be so funny. The amount of people that don't realize that we have the X-Men to the level we have them because of Mission Impossible 2.
Absolutely.
You can thank Mission Impossible 2 for the X-Men, and you can inadvertently thank Mel Gibson for Iron Man.
There are so many alternate timelines that you can draw just from movies alone. I know I'm not the first person to say this. I would be interested in seeing Ray Park's Toad get some kind of recontextualization so that he doesn't have to just go down in history as the lightning meme.
Yeah.
I would also be enthused to see some kind of either either or Tyler Mane, Liev Schreiber, Sabretooth.
Taylor Kish
situation.
too. I see the Gambit love. I mean, in addition to Channing, Taylor Kish, I think, in general, because of John Carter and Gambit back to back. He's so good in Savages and a bunch of other stuff.
He's so good in Guys' Names movies. Yeah. What do you guys think? What's your who do you want to see? I'm just excited that Pyro's in it.
In a seemingly big way.
Yeah, I liked him in X2 a lot, and I liked. I didn't clock it in the immediate moment, but that he's in that first Deadpool Wolverine teaser is pretty sweet.
Sure.
All right, let's do one more super, and then we'll go check the Streamlabs real quick. Mayank Rananavare. I hope I got somewhere in the neighborhood of what your name actually is supposed to be pronounced like. Thank you for joining us on the stream, for helping drive the convo. Hey, Coy and John, that's us. What additional cameos are you expecting that Deadpool and Wolverine would have due to the reshoots? Okay, a little bit different question. Due to the reshoots. All right.
I got a big one.
Oh.
I think he was not originally in the cut. And a big reason for the reshoots even happening.
Oh, you can see where we're going.
Cable.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
I think when they asked Cable, Josh Brolin, about being in it a few months ago, he authentically was like, I don't know why they didn't call. And now he's like, maybe they called. And I think I think Cable is in the additional photography, and I think he might even be like time slipping by one through a few scenes. I think like Cable might be in it a bit, but they all filmed it in like 2 days.
I think they could make a really fun meme out of that because, I was like, if there's one thing that I would want to see somewhere and I don't need to be a huge thing, it would be Cable, kind of.
And I think that Cable and Wolverine's dynamic is going to be similar, so I think that the reason wasn't any sort of animosity towards Josh Brolin, because Josh Brolin is a delight. I think it was we've got a gruff,
Brolin.
an old gruff man, and the
Dude,
like that's already
Biscuit for Secret War.
Oh, obviously. Right. Speaking of Mission Impossible 2.
Oh, jeez. The best Mission Impossible.
Dude, actually, the best part of Mission Impossible is that song. That said, I do think Cable is going to be a big part of this additional photography. I also think there was probably a lot of cameos that they just didn't have scheduling aligned for 6 months ago or, 7 months ago, and now they can go, hey, we're holding this week for additional photography. You can't do it now. Can you set this aside then? So I don't think it's any story stuff. I don't think it's all the rumors of, like, not bloody enough. I think if you watch that trailer, it's clear they gave Ryan Reynolds a lot of leash. So I think they're honestly the cameos they didn't have time to schedule before because of the other people scheduling, and now they're getting them plus Cable.
Absolutely. I think it would be cool if they did reshoots to incorporate Jared Leto, Dakota Johnson, and Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I think that's what people want.
I think that's really finally bring the Sony Spider-Verse.
That's what we need. And Michael Keaton just appears like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Like in that post-credit scene.
Spider-Man.
Someone said Beetlejuice, and I appeared in this post-credit scene.
Yeah. And Kevlar, yes, Greg and I are feuding, and we'll be dropping tracks any minute today. Keep your ears peeled.
Yeah, that's where Greg is right now. He's in the sound booth they built in the other studio, just like mixing. He has snare in his
headphones. He's bringing back Ryan Wright for a beef track. That's what we're about to do.
One last ride.
One last ride for Ryan Wright. But yes, oh my goodness gracious. Let's jump on over real quick and see what we got on the Streamlabs.
John's doing my chorus in my beef track.
That's right. I just saw the one of those Conan O'Brien Must Go episodes, and he steps on a track doing some sultry vocals, and I could offer you something similar.
All right, I appreciate you being my Dido.
All right, the Streamlabs are coming in. I'm on the wrong preset. There we go.
Can we just scroll down? Can we just?
Oh, sorry, gang. I know you your ears and all that.
Chris Wham off.
Christopher.
Listen, Chris. I had to take the headphones off because I wanted this to feel like it was I was raw dogging this appreciation. No filter. No rap. It is just me thanking you. Free air. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The way your generosity and appreciation comes across without context or need back, just love, just showing love. It whams me off. I appreciate that.
Chris, you are truly a lovely, one-of-a-kind presence in our lives. You've been with us, supporting, and just, a member of our little community and the Patreon and everything for such a long time. And just, I don't know, you're selfless. I know we joke a lot about, you being the best person ever in shout-outs and whatnot, but at least in our experience with you, continually, you are here just, again, breaking bread with us, sharing with us, and not even asking for very much at all in return. So seriously, really appreciate you. And I wish we could go off on like a 20-minute monologue, just
we dedicate our Kendrick and Drake conversation to you. That was a 20-minute monologue.
Yeah.
We dude, seriously, so appreciate. That is amazing. I am always struck by the generosity of this community. I think Reject Nation is a really special place, and it is not easy to do what Rejects have built here. Like, this is insane, and it's because of you guys, and because of and people like the prepper editors and people that like make. I don't think people realize like YouTube has taken over a lot of like network TV and stuff. It's become like such a huge part of the infrastructure of entertainment, and it's not the same like delivery system and the way network TV is funded so differently. So much of YouTube is funded by people being awesome, and it's more of a community. It's more democratized. And stuff like this, I just want to give love to, because this is amazing and how this is possible. So thank you.
Actually, there's a good way to think. Everybody in the chat, real quick, just shower some love on Chris. Congratulate him on his
He's
engagement.
engaged!
Man's is getting hitched.
Congratulations.
He has found someone to harmonize his heart with for the rest of this life, till death do them part. And yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, that's no small feat in and of itself. That's a lot of investment in terms of time, energy, resources, etc. So the fact that you're still here sharing any of your time, energy, and resources with us just, again, means a ton. I feel like just between every single super chat and or Streamlab, we're just going to come back and thank you again real quick.
Yeah, dude, thank you.
Yeah, we really, I was not expecting this when I opened up the window, and I was kind of, whoa. So thank you so much, dude. Seriously, all the love, and I hope someday we get to like actually meet and chill and chat and shoot the breeze in person, see who you really are behind the scenes. But yeah, dude, thank you so much.
Engagement.
Seriously.
Congratulations. That's so cool.
I don't even want to scroll away.
I know, it's beautiful.
But dude, Ronin Unchained as well. Thank you for jumping in. Every little bit counts, no matter what the contribution. We really appreciate all of you. Again, y'all don't have to send us anything.
Yeah, we try to read these too.
And yeah, I mean, and I definitely do want to tend to the main chat. Like all of you guys who are here, dedicating your time. Time is the most precious thing of all. Thank you guys for being with us on a Saturday, and Ronin Unchained, thank you for chiming in to the convo as well, and for being generous with your time and resources also. Hey, John and Coy, Feliz May the 4th, Feliz 4 de Mayo. Since Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out during San Diego Comic-Con weekend, what are the chances that the film and Ryan, Hugh, Sean will have a presence at the con? Also, X-Men 97 fucking rules! Good
Agreed.
Good questions.
I don't know if it releasing the same weekend will actually cause it to have or cause it to not have a presence, because I don't know if they'd do a panel because it would already be out. But at the same time, it'd be a cool way. Yeah, it'd be a cool way to just like if they show up in costume and we just like talk about it. Like that's what I'd do if I was Ryan, and he is so good at improving as Deadpool because he is the character, and Hugh has played the character for a quarter century. I would just do a panel where it's them two as the characters talking, and that would encourage me to go see the movie.
I would so enjoy.
Do you know what I mean? Like the Loki thing,
answering questions in character.
Basically, Tom Hiddleston's panel, but with dialogue instead of like. But that's so logistically hard, and I don't know if we would have. That work, and I don't know if they'll screen it there, but as far as I know, I don't know what Comic-Con is this year. I just got booked. I have my first panel, by the way. I'm going to be down there. But it's the quietest I've heard this late in the year. I'm hoping June is just a flourish of announcements, but we'll see. And X-Men 97 does rule, and we're hopefully doing some more stuff for that on this channel.
Either way, like regardless of who shows up at Comic-Con, I hope we show up at Comic-Con
Yeah.
and you show up at Comic-Con, because like we can just keep this convention train rolling. You came out to our WonderCon panel, you were so sweet about that. So let's make a plan to meet up at SDCC for whatever Deadpool Wolverine happens to happen. Also, just Chris Whamoff is one of the best Hollywood Chris's.
Oh, 100%. 100%. He might have just passed the pine.
I see people chiming in, but and Ronin Unchained, I mean, you're the best Ronin of any Ronin, all right? And there's a lot of Ronin throughout history, so
True.
That's a mantle you got to wear with honor. But yeah, I think in character would be rad. That would be
my dream.
Yeah, and then Sean Levy can also be in character
as director Sean Levy.
Director Sean
holding
Levy,
a camera
as just like a parody version of himself. Mr. Juan Ibar, thank you for jumping into the Streamlabs. And appreciate you guys for also just paying attention and grabbing that link as well. Again, everything is appreciated, no matter where it goes. But Streamlabs does skim a little less off the top. So we do appreciate you guys making an effort and jumping to a whole different window to do that. But yeah, thank you, John and Coy, for these live streams. Thank you. Thank Coy. I mean, Coy is very much, you are the constant in these now.
I like the live stream because it reminds me the internet is good. I think the social medias can be inherently negative because it's easier to like something negative, like it grows in popularity, whereas the live stream, you guys, it's more like a con. Like, this is more like a convention where you guys are here, we're sharing, it's a dialogue. I love hearing what you guys think about the stuff we're talking about. You can't really do that when you're just monologuing at a camera. So that's why I encourage these live streams, and Greg and John have been like, yeah, let's do more of those. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I would love that very much. And also, hey, I always appreciate the weekend entertainment. John loved the Shogun watch along, and I like that you got the accent over the O. I gotta learn what that's
detail.
called. It currently sits at the top of my favorite 2024 TV shows. Wonderful storytelling. I'm not gonna go on to a huge monologue because Andrew and I have talked at length about that. But absolutely, like Shogun. I gotta check out Fallout, but Shogun has stuck with me every step of the way. I've been thinking about it since the show ended, and what a beautiful. Just reminder of how great longer form, cinematic storytelling can be. And it's been a while since I've seen something that so gracefully nailed almost everything. It's like, obviously, the acting, the writing, the direction, the locations and sets, the grace and the poetry and the literal history, the symbology, all the stuff. Like, it really is a massively impressive thing to me that they managed to make something that never felt like it. Like, the only complaint I really can come up with is that occasionally on a couple of the big epic scope shots, like, you could tell maybe this is a volume or a green screen, but like, for the most part, like, everything is so wonderful. And if you haven't checked it out yet, like, it is a hearty, nutritious meal while also being just as gripping and thrilling and dramatic as you'd hope. So, like, I can't say enough about Shogun. And thank you so much for jumping on those videos, because that was a real treat. I didn't even expect necessarily to get to do that until Greg was like, hey, due to circumstances, I feel like it, you should probably join Andrew for this. And I'm ever grateful to him for throwing that our way as a shared experience, because, Shogun for me is definitely going to be hard to beat in terms of just best anything I saw this year. So if you haven't checked it out, go do that! And then come back and watch our reactions and watch-alongs, where you sync up with your own copy at patreon.com/LeRioJacksNash. Thank you for jumping in, for contributing over at the Superchats Streamlabs. Really appreciate you being here on a Saturday. Incredible stream. We're doing our best, buddy. Appreciate that. I really like watching you both do live streams. Greg, too. So don't feel too left out. It's good, because I can almost feel him start to cry. Today's stream, especially with the side combo topics, top tier. Thank you. I'm glad.
I will say
it's a high wire act getting off of
getting back
comic
to
topic.
That said, I have been really enjoying and appreciating these live streams. Started as mainly comic book based, which I love, as you know, and I love my Koi's Comic Corner, and I love all those things. But it is nice to talk about genuine and general pop culture. Yeah. So I want to appreciate you guys for bringing those conversations into it, as you guys are the co-hosts. So talking about other movies and talking about hip hop and stuff is because of you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing your broad range of interests and your I don't know.
It's exciting to mix it up.
Yeah, exactly. Keeps things fresh, keeps things new. Everybody, just go find Chris Whamoff and give him some love again. I'm still reeling from that, but let's hop back over onto some super chats. Nerds Engage! Can I recommend a watch-along? Thank you, first of all, for just attempting to recommend anything at all. The fact that you care means a lot.
Share your art.
Hey.
Can I recommend a watch along? Late Night with the Devil.
Ah, I'm dying.
David Desmalchin, friend of the show, friend of the me. Love that guy.
I don't know if it'll become a video. I imagine it could, just because of how notable it has been. If it does, I am here on record saying I would love to do it. I don't know if I will be on that if it happens, but I would love that. That's
I
all I'll say.
rarely do horror. But
I've been saving it for the potential.
And I know Tara and Roxy are killing it on the horror.
They are.
But if there were 2 videos,
Grab this
perhaps Coy and John and Tara and Roxy could do a pair of videos.
Oh my god!
Because I actually want to see this one. I rarely want to see horror, and I am prepared to be afraid on camera.
Hey.
Also, do you think the Avengers, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four showing up in X-Men '97? I think that with the Cap moment and the cameo we had this week, it is a likelihood in the 3rd episode finale, like the end, the actual finale. But my only fear is the X-Men are always really unique in that they always can kind of handle their own business. I've always liked that X-Men feel like the Westchester feels far enough from New York City, they're doing their own thing. So I just don't want that to sacrifice how great the team dynamic of the X-Men is. So if it is that, I'd like it to be like an 80-20 split, where it's like we see them fighting, but we're really staying with the X-Men. But I would love to see those moments, and I really hope that pop that happened in this week's cameo inspires a certain show from '90s to come back as well.
I've heard a certain voice actor being like, "Hey,
I'm also available if you want to call me. I'm here. I want it. I want it real bad."
Fantastic. So many interesting.
'90s was a great time.
The '90s was a special time, underrated until recently. I
Quite
feel
the
like
decade.
People are
People are
coming back to
learning
realize
now
just how great some of the '90s have been. Thank you, though, Nerds Engage. I'm excited to see what other things. I feel like X-Men '97 has established, and I've got some to catch up on, but I feel like it's established a sort of fun, just sense that like, oh man, anything could happen.
Yeah, and that's amazing week to week. I've been loving the conversation for 6 days. Just like, what is it going to be?
Weirdly, I'm getting that impression, and I know a lot of people really liked What If Season 2, but I'm getting more of that impression from '97 than even What If, and I feel like that should be What If's whole bag.
And instead, it's like, oh, this, and it's also following a bunch of comic storylines, but it's taking enough left turns. We're all guessing. I love it.
Oh, dude. Charlie836, I've seen you in the chat. Appreciate you being here, sharing the love and the affection. We're going to, wow, very generous of you as well. Thank you so much for gracing us. What level of cameo and or surprises do you think Deadpool, Wolverine, the X is silent? It's like Hunter x Hunter or Godzilla Kong, which I would love to hear the pitch meeting that led to that title. Anyway, should we prepare our, what level of cameo surprises do you think Deadpool, Wolverine should
we prepare ourselves for?
In Deadpool Wolverine, do you think we should prepare ourselves for? While still keeping in mind Secret Wars. John.
Fair point.
Been missing you on the streams. Coy plays with my heart too much.
Sorry.
Oh, dude. I'm here to balance things out.
Just keep the zen. Keep the composure.
I'm here to play with your heart just enough.
The right level.
I'm just here to fluff your heart.
It's a hard job, a heart fluffer.
Heart fluff.
It's not easy. I think we should expect a pretty insane barrage used comedically, but still with heart in Deadpool X Wolverine, as described here. I think Secret Wars is going to be more plot driven. I think the characters in this will be like a surge of cameos. Some of them will serve the plot, but I think Secret Wars will be less characters as a more utility team player. I think I'd expect Secret Wars to feel more like Endgame, where like the characters that are there are like moving and tactical, whereas I think Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be largely those two characters with a few scenes of insanity. Is what I'd expect the difference to be. But it's a really good point. There is a tricky balance to walk with a cameo fest followed soon thereafter by like, we need the scope to be bigger. And I think that's just going to be in tone and story elements.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like there's at least a unique possibility. I don't know exactly. I don't want to commit to like, I think we're definitely going to see this or that. But I feel like there is a good possibility that some of the wildness and the broad scope that has been missing from, or some people think that recent entries haven't hit, like a Multiverse of Madness, for example, like isn't as mad as it would imply by the title. And so my hope is that Deadpool Wolverine will kind of hit that mark of like, oh, okay, this is about as wild and crazy and chocker block full of, a bunch of different people, as you might expect. And I feel like if anybody can deliver on that, it's probably this team. So I'm optimistic for that. Thank you guys again for continually keeping the super chats and Streamlabs alive. Thank you guys in the chat for holding it down, just for being here, for sounding off, for giving us your thoughts, for giving us your unique opinions on each topic that comes up here. There's even more movie news that happened this week, but I feel like, there's a good chance we'll probably get to some of that in here. And if
I got to acknowledge some beef. Hold on.
Oh,
we got rival show producer over at New Rockstars, John Costa, in the chat. Look at it. Christian Unpronounceables in both. He's coming in.
Costa.
He's coming in here like Drake coming in here trying to start beef. And I'm just saying, we see you.
New Rockstars.
We see you, New Rockstars. Great guy, great dog.
Rap beef.
Great dog. He's a good dude. I like Costa. He's good.
We'll go easy.
We'll let him
on
stay.
Yeah.
Nate Carlson. My question. Oh, it's for me. Coy.
Thank you, Nate.
My question.
You, Nate.
We appreciate you, Nate. I like your last name. I like your emoji. Coy, my question for you is, as a person with disabilities who also uses a wheelchair myself, do you know if there's any character in the X-Men comics who is in a wheelchair and who has powers? Professor Charles Xavier notwithstanding.
Sure.
There are a number of characters that have. I can't think of another one in a wheelchair because I think Xavier's such a major character. There's a lot of page time, screen time there, but there's a lot of characters that do have disability that the whole story is about like overcoming the societal judgment of whatever it is you're dealing with. There is, however, a recent character over in the Spider-Verse that is on man, I don't know what they're called. The not crutches, but the ones that kind of wrap around. Are those also crutches? The arm assist walking.
I don't believe they are the same.
Because crutches go under your armpit. I think those are different arm braces.
Yeah.
But there's a new character, spider character, that is over there in the Spider-Verse that has that. So it is something I think Marvel is doing a pretty good job on. And I think that it is getting less of the world is getting less like the villains in X-Men. So I think it is a more common occurrence, and there are a few characters like that. And the Morlocks are a really cool set of characters that are visually different, and thus they get kind of ostracized to live somewhere else, and they have a lot of really cool redemption arcs. So I know X-Men handles disability more than most, but it is Marvel and DC and every other comic wide getting more and more common.
Yeah. You do get the Barbara Gordon.
You get Barbara Gordon as Oracle. She's lost that enough times recently. I wasn't thinking of it. You also get Venom's not in a wheelchair because of the symbiote, but Eddie Brock, when he's not Venomized, it's just been like 10 years. So if you go back to Agent Venom, the first arc, you're going to find Eddie Brock in a wheelchair because he lost his legs in a military incident. And then Oracle, I think it's been 20 years, but Oracle is going to be in a wheelchair as well, doing a lot of really cool helping of the team still from the home base.
And Madam Web has a cool chair, too.
Yes, Madam Web obviously is the pinnacle of comics. No, in the comics, Madam Web's actually pretty dope. It's just tricky now.
I would like to see more of that, though. More just kind of different kinds of people, different kinds of abilities represented across comics. I feel like there's a lot to be done with that, and I feel like there's also a lot to be done with the duality of, I've been given this extreme, some kind of huge power, to kind of contrast with that or something like that. This is an interesting idea. I would definitely like to see more of, though. And if any of you know one that we missed, leave it in the chat and get some old comic book recs going. Girl in the chair. I like that. And John Costa, clearly the superior John. All right.
Ouch.
I'm just going to say it out here. All right.
It's getting heated here.
I'm going to step out of the beef. All right. My heart's not.
He's J. Cole on his way out of this.
Extreme Viper 99. Thank you. Chiming in from, I assume, the Great Britain or somewhere in the UK area. Thanks for being here at a later time in the in the evening there, I assume. Hey, Coy and John, haven't caught a stream in a while. Hope you're well. What's your perfect Spider-Man 4 villains, etc.? Cheers. Thank you. And a good question. I haven't thought about Spider-Man 4 today. Let's you think, because there's tons of rumors about what could happen between the Tom Holland Spider-Man 4, various other revitalizations of others Spider-Man, which, if you do another Toby, that's also kind of a 4. What do you think?
I got a hot take. I'm gonna do 3. I'm gonna go in ascending order. My Spider-Man 4, I want probably least just because I, as you may know, struggle with the Tobey one compared to others. Spider-Man 4 for Tobey would be Sam Raimi obviously coming back directing. I would want him to get his Spider-Man 4 as a redemption arc for Sam, not even just for the character. Yeah. I want Vulture and I want Black Cat. I want the movie he wanted to make, but obviously the ending would probably be different. And I would have that movie be kind of a swan song, like the end of Spider-Man, kind of retiring. And I'd love to see him get his off in the sunset with Mary Jane moment. I think the movie could be really good for that. I'd use Vulture as a commentary on maybe doing vigilantism too long. Like, let Vulture be an old man who can't let go of the past. Maybe a thief that just, he needs the adrenaline rush, and then you could parallel Spider-Man to that. The whole beauty of the character, of any good character, is their villains kind of reflect the arc, and I think the arc of Vulture would be interesting, and then you could have Black Cat mirror the Mary Jane relationship and be like flirting with Spider-Man and him be like, I got a lady. But, after some maybe flirting back. But yeah, I'd use Black Cat and Vulture in a different way, and that'd be my Spider-Man 4 there. My Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland would be a college-age Tom Holland navigating being in New York with no one. New York is a place of community, but it's also a place that's really aggressive. I love you. I miss the animosity and I miss the love. They're both very important East Coast cities. I think it'd be interesting to do a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that New York is a character finally, and we see what it's like to navigate New York without a lot of people, and then Spider-Man start to make friends, like Peter Parker making friends with a Norman Osborn or a Gwen Stacy, and like that story can be told because he currently doesn't have his little trio with Zendaya and Jacob Batalon. And then I would have street level villains there, do kind of a gang war storyline. I'd have Hammerhead, I'd have Tombstone, I'd have maybe leading up to Kingpin, but I'd have like a cameo with Daredevil to make people happy, but I would make sure it doesn't ever feel like an Avengers film. That'd be my Spider-Man 4 there, setting up at the end the symbiote saga. I'd have the 5th movie be the Black Suit, I'd have the 6th movie be Venom, I would have Venom kill off Peter Parker, introduce Miles Morales. My most wanted one, however, would be a Spider-Man 4 with Andrew Garfield. How, you may ask, because we haven't had Spider-Man 3, because I want at least 2 more Andrew Garfield movies. That's what my most anticipated is. Spider-Man 4, Andrew Garfield. Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield would be him meeting a symbiote, and that symbiote would be Tom Hardy's Venom. Of all of the characters in this, Tom Hardy's Venom lines the most up humorously with this Spider-Man. So I would give Andrew Garfield his chance to fight a symbiote. He wanted to fight an alien. There was dialogue about it No Way Home. I want to see where he's been. I want to give him a redemption arc, and maybe he meets his Mary Jane because that beautiful closure moment he got because he had lost his Gwen Stacy. He can find love again while he's going through that. He, however, doesn't trust his own instincts, doesn't trust his own brain. This is a man who was afraid of swinging too hard, fighting too hard. This is a man thinking he'd never find love again. What do you do when you don't trust your own thoughts? You get a symbiote. You deal with the darkness, and you navigate that. Spider-Man 3 would be that. Spider-Man 4 would be his sign-off movie, giving us some closure and maybe doing a bigger bad movie. So those are my 3 Spider-Man 4s I would like.
I'll keep this brief because yours are way better and
Sorry,
more
I got excited.
than mine. Nah, that's what you're here for, Coy. This is your time to shine.
Also,
Hello.
please, Marvel should call me.
Yes, they should.
They have my number.
Feige on the horn. My Spider-Man 4, listen to this, all right? As part of the Doctor Strange spell that went wrong, right? One day, Peter Parker is all of a sudden confronted with every one of his potential love interests at the same time on the timeline, and they're all aware that they've been with him, but he's not aware that he's been with any of them yet.
This is a dating show.
And then he's just got to navigate that.
Okay.
Because he's like, I don't even.
It's like in Mallrats.
Yeah,
he's
sure.
like Brody. He's gonna be on the other side of that little dating show.
There you go. Just watch him figure out these domestic squabbles as he tries to be like, hey, time is working differently for me than it is for you. And then the actual main villain is Paul Giamatti's Rhino.
Into
the
it.
whole time.
Love it.
That or Toby versus Kendrick and Drake beef.
Oh, so in. Yes.
Those are my choice. I do think something in a Spider-Man 4 that largely focuses on street level criminals.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
That then maybe leads up to some kind of big bad, but that's not like a huge big bad.
Yeah, not everything needs to be Galactus.
Yeah, something that's like a charged up version of a regular crook, but that's not cosmic, or that's not even Mysterio to a degree is
pretty big
in the MCU feels like a bigger scale thing. Even though he's all tech and shit.
Also, my Spider-Man 4 with Andrew would have Deadpool in it because Ryan Reynolds and Andrew Garfield would be amazing.
Andy G's.
We have hit 1:30, but I'm going to say a 5-minute warning until we need to cut off the the super and the stream. So we gotta get out of here. I got a free comic book day. Sorry, guys.
You gotta go.
I got a free comic.
You gotta go. Not pay for comics.
I gotta go. What's great is they always have sales. So a lot of times, yeah, they still make money that day.
They make it worth your while.
Exactly. And there's some Silver Age comics that I got my eyes on. So that's the way it works. So yeah, we got like 5 minutes and we'll chop those off.
We'll chop those off in a few.
We appreciate all the ones we've gotten, and we will not leave until we got them all.
Absolutely not. And hey, it's good. You know, we've learned. Greg would be proud. I had this on the list of topics to talk about, but in the back of my mind, I knew someone might ask about this in the super chats, and they have. Thank you. Allison Becker, 94. Is that because you were born in 94, or are you 94 years old? Either way, we love to have you, and thank you for your question. Any predictions on who Giancarlo Esposito is playing? Who would you cast him as? Quicksilver.
Paste Pot Pete.
I saw that tweet.
I was very
happy. I saw your Paste Pot tweet.
Paste Pot tweets. I legitimately think it'd be pretty cool to see him as Kang. I think he has a lot of intense energy, but to be honest, if he's not Kang, I kind of want him to be a good guy. I feel like Giancarlo Esposito has been typecast as Gus Fring for a long time. He played Gus Fring in Star Wars. Yeah. He played Gus Fring in like another gangster movie. He's just trapped.
He plays,
you go back
a lot now.
He's an incredible actor from like Spike Lee joints. Like he's an incredible actor from he was in Malcolm X.
He's an actor who you know his name now, and then you go back and watch a bunch of older things, and you're like, oh, he's in this, and he's in
and
this,
he's so different and good. And I feel like since Breaking Bad, he's been trapped in one lane, and he has so many more like tools in his toolkit. And I personally would rather see him do something fun. That's why, like, you know, when people were saying Xavier Magneto, I was like, I'm afraid if they make him Xavier, it'll go right to Onslaught because that's how people write him. So I'd like to see him do something fun and joyous.
He's Herbie.
He'd be a good Perry White. Actually, no. If he's in the MCU, sorry, Randy Robertson.
Wow, Coy.
I know. Hour and a half. Randy Robertson. He'd be a good Randy Robertson.
Okay.
But I want to see him have some joy because Randy Robertson's always defending Spider-Man to Jonah. It'd be kind of nice to see a guy like kind of have his back and be Giancarlo being like a positive.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, this dude is so immaculately dressed, and he doesn't need any co-hosts at panels. I've done a few cons with him. You basically just got to say the man's name. He'll come out and do a one-man show. I don't ever get to see that energy in his roles anymore. And like when you watch his old stuff, you do. I want to see the guy get to be like a showman that he is.
I want him to be Peter's landlord.
Yeah, where's the rent?
Where's the rent? I feel like any pitch you have will just be infinitely better than any pitch I have. Solomon Grundy Giancarlo. That's
there it is. He's ready. Born on a Monday.
Gotta get that amalgamated universe somehow. But leave your thoughts, guys. Who do you want him to play? Who would you cast Giancarlo as in the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe? I bet there are a lot of interesting characters he could play. MC No Light. Thank you. Is that because you're a master of ceremonies, or is your name like Michael Chad or Michelle Charlize? Anyway.
Yes, Michelle Charlize No Light.
Anyway, thank you for your contribution to the Super Chats. Very much appreciate your generosity. Hey, hope you guys are having a good day.
Hey, we're doing pretty all right.
It's been good so far. How would you guys feel about Ryan Coogler for Secret Wars? I'd also love to see a Jordan Peele Blade film. Hell yes. Your thoughts? Also, all hail King Kendrick, by the way. Look at that.
Correct.
Still beefing.
I personally think we're going to get, ironically, because of the phrasing here, I think we're going to get a very good Ryan Coogler Blade film in a couple years with Michael B. Jordan starring, and I'm pretty sure Ryan Coogler pitched them a Blade film, and when they said no, he's like, I'll do it myself.
That's right. He's got that vampire joint coming out.
Dude, it's Blade.
That's his Rebel Moon.
Yeah. Yeah, but it'll be good.
What do you mean, Coy?
I'm so glad there's 6 hours of that franchise that so many people are talking about that he claims is as big as Barbie. I think that Ryan Coogler's Blade is going to be exceptional. I think it's actually freeing that he's not tied to the MCU, and I'm very excited for it. That said, I would also love to see Jordan Peele do a Blade film because I think he has such a beautiful relationship with tension, and I think that's really important for Blade. I think he's so good at like pacing suspense, and I'd love to see that take on Blade. I love that we're getting Mahershala's, and I cannot wait to see that. But I don't know what the tone's going to be because I don't know the director. So, and as far
gotta
as
wait 20 more years.
yeah, by the time the internet's a new thing and YouTube is dead, Blade will be out.
By the time we have the brain chips, they'll have the Blade.
Yeah, it'll be there. And then Secret Wars. I mean, Ryan Coogler crushed at both Blades. I mean, both Black Panthers, and I think he would crush his upcoming Blade. But I haven't seen how he would navigate like a team dynamic, and I'd love to. I can't really speak on it yet because I don't know. But I mean, I'd certainly be curious. He's an incredible director.
Where you have like a bunch of status
so many
ones all together.
People do not realize how hard it is to do like effectively a show, and I think that's why the Russos were so good because they were making a show. But I haven't seen Ryan Coogler. He's so good at singular focus with Creed, with Fruitvale, with Black Panther. I just don't know what his team would feel like, but I'd be curious.
Fruitvale Station
breaks
wrecked me, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'll never forget the day I watched that movie. Hey, these are I agree with everything you said, Cole.
Thanks.
I also
I'm just trying to power what we got
in the chat.
Norman Osborn is fun.
Esposito as Norman Osborn, also as Uncle Ben.
That's fun.
Which would be which I would love. I feel like. Big Uncle Ben energy. Oh my God. I would remember that with great power
if it came from that man,
great responsibility.
And he could play joy that way.
Hey.
Like Uncle Ben's joyous. He's got like a positive. I'm into that.
It would give him an opportunity
Just be happy.
To be a bright
Let him be happy.
Him and Evan Peters. Give them a happy role.
Yeah, man. Those poor guys in therapy.
Oh, man. I would also, I'll just chime in on the Jordan Peele. I would love to see a Jordan Peele Blade. I mean, part of me almost feels like I would love to see that if they let him do his thing, not to, and he's even talked about this, not to pigeonhole him into the idea that he has to be big, deep social commentary metaphor guy, but like I feel like he's always kind of gonna want to be cooking on some level like that.
Yeah.
So if his Blade movie, it's one of those situations where I could see it being like an Edgar Wright, basically, where it's like you kind of gotta let him do his thing, and I could see it very easily kind of falling out of line and maybe not working out. But I would love to see it because I think it would be very distinct.
Should we?
And I think it would be able to stretch his, those Akira and other action chops that are in his movies but that aren't at the forefront.
Into that.
And yes, with that, also, Koi, good instincts.
On it.
We
Focusing.
are going to close down the main Super Chat menu right now. I'm sorry, gang, but you can still send super
It is the way it must be, and we appreciate you.
Still send a super sticker if you want to. Anything and everything is appreciated. We hate to do it, but we do have to, we can't just be here for 24 straight hours.
No,
as much
it
as we
would
would
be
like
just Kendrick and Drake by hour 3.
Honestly,
it would just be breaking down every line.
If the channel was just one constant live stream, I actually wouldn't.
In the future,
wouldn't
it could
be too upset. But yeah, we're gonna shut down the main super chats. I do understand the implications. I love this. Whenever we do it, YouTube is always like, whoa.
This is life changing.
Have you thought this through?
All the way through?
I have thought this through.
Okay, good.
Alrighty, we're doing it. But luckily, we still got a lot of chats to get.
Yeah, we
through,
do.
So
We got
we're gonna
plenty.
jump in it. Rhett Proctor. Not gonna make the obvious joke here. Just thank you very much for your contribution. And Rhett, always a cool name. Is it just Rhett for you, or are you short for Everett?
Ooh,
Comment
good
in the chat.
Oh, someone said we missed one from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Someone has scoliosis. I didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, come on now. Oh, my God. Oh, it's going to kill me. Koi, read this one off while I remember.
My personal picks for who should return are Sophie Turner as Jean Grey in the Marvel Girl suit, or the Green Phoenix suit, Olivia Munn as Psylocke, and Lucas Till as Havoc. As a fan of all of these characters, yes. I also, Lucas Till and I used to be homies. Not that we had like we did not Kendrick and Drake, but he was in Atlanta for like 7 years on his show, so I haven't seen Lucas in forever, but love the dude. He's fantastic, so I want him to work always. So yes, please, more Havoc, because that means my dude's getting work. Not that he needs it. He was the lead of MacGyver for 7 years, but he loved that character so much, so I want that for him.
It's the Gabriel Reyes character. It's Robbie Reyes' brother, right? Played by Lorenzo Henry. Old friend of the channel.
Boom.
Old friend of the channel. Another, that's right, because of he gets like clipped in a gang fight or something
Oh,
like
shit.
that, right? At the point, around the point when Robbie, gets Ghost Ridered. Oh my goodness gracious!
Another good pull. Thank you,
Thank
live
you
chat.
for pulling that out of the live
But
chat.
yeah, I would love to see comic accurate costumes, and I would love to see those characters come back, and I think we'll see a lot of them.
Absolutely. I think these are good picks all around, especially, I mean, justice for anyone who's played Jean Grey, TBH.
Seriously.
But also Sophie Turner for sure, though, because I feel like she got the bum end of that stick in not even at least having a couple other movies to be around for first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like these are some solid picks here. Green Phoenix suit, huh?
It's dope.
Oh?
It's the one.
Okay.
That's the cover. It's the one.
I'm not gonna say anything. Thank you, Rhett, for your casting picks. We're gonna have to see who makes it into these movies. I mean, I assume that this could happen in Deadpool and Wolverine, but it could happen in other movies too. So keep it on that hope train, Chris Garcia.
Michelle, I would love to do a comic symposium while sipping whiskey in front of a fireplace. Chris Garcia asks, and thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Who would you cast as the main characters of a live-action Marvel X-Men film? Thank you for awesome content. All right, in brief, and I might do a video about this, but in brief, Xavier, Sterling K. Brown. I know he's already in the MCU, but he was underutilized in Black Panther, and I really, really, really think that he is both.
I always forget he's even in that.
That's my point. He's very professorial. He's very authoritative. He can show joy. He can show rage. He is the multifaceted man you need for Xavier. Magneto. Idris Elba. I know he was in Thor, but we're going into multiverse, and I really want a commanding, powerful presence and voice, and I think the two of them would be really, really interesting off of each other, and I think that'd be a lot of fun. If not Idris Elba, there is one man, and one man alone, that has a similar presence, and maybe even more of a presence, who has not yet been in the MCU, who would also be that beautiful Malcolm X parallel in a way that I would love to see portrayed, and that is Denzel Washington. Denzel as Magneto is my pull. Sterling K. Brown as Xavier is my pull. I'm going to go with either Ryan Gosling if they go older or Glenn Powell if they go younger for Cyclops. It depends on which end of the 30s they want to hit, but I think Gosling and Glenn Powell both bring a levity to a character that could be seen as too stoic. He needs to be a Boy Scout, but he also needs to have a little bit of flexibility. Why would Gene be with him if he sucked? You need a guy that's charming, but also a good tactical leader, also the physicality. I would have Mr. Austin Butler as Gambit. I want to hear and see that man flirting with Rogue. I would think I would also utilize, while we're on the Dune train, Mr. Timmy Chalamet as
Tim Chan.
motherfucking Nightcrawler. I think he needs to be swashbuckling, needs to be charming. The blue elf needs to be, in his own way, charismatic, and I think he can handle that. And if not him, Dev motherfucking Patel, because Dev should have been Reed Richards, and if he's not going to be Reed, I think it'd be a really cool Nightcrawler. Who else do we want?
Speaking of, I would love to see just an Alan Cumming Nightcrawler reappearance somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
But Dev would love to see as well, as a new iteration.
Also, depending on the age range, I don't know what they're going to do, but just if they go really young, Sophia Lillis as Jean Grey of Stranger Things fame. She is fantastic, and also I really want that
Of
intensity
It fame,
of
Coy.
It fame, guys.
It's
off my
basically
game.
Stranger
It
Things.
is Stranger Things the movie. But yeah, those are some of my picks. I've already gone on too long, but just a few of those, and maybe I'll do another video. But those are some of my castings.
It's okay. We're going to stick with yours because yours are better than anything I could come up with.
You got any?
Nothing serious, Coy. Danny DeVito, Wolverine.
Obviously. Obviously.
I'm thinking maybe get me Carol Kane as Jean Grey, Richard Jenkins as Cyclops.
Oh, great. Yeah. He
I'm
actually would have been a decent Xavier.
I would love. He would be Uncle Xavier.
Yeah.
All the way. Like I would feel so. I would feel so reassured.
Just ahead. Everything's going to be all right.
And I would be terrified if he had to throw down.
Rafe Fiennes would be a fun Xavier.
Rafe Xavier.
Rafe Save.
Half tag that. Half tag.
I want to know what the audience. Who has anybody got? Anybody?
Real quick, I wanted to call out a couple
sorry.
comments we saw here. Anyone seen the new Boys trailer? Haven't checked it out yet. Want to be at least Big
not
Greg
watching
and I have it. Yeah, we
Not
want to be
watching
as fresh as possible.
Comes out next month. I'm not touching
yeah.
any more footage.
We
I'm
already know.
avoiding it.
We already know we're coming, and especially after Gen V and the unfortunate circumstances surrounding that. Like I'm also just I'm gonna leave it be until we get to the actual show. And real quick as well, Elliot Page, Kitty Pryde. I think that would be an interesting thing for them to do that would make perfect sense to like honor the past, but also kind of in a weird way, if they did it tastefully, embrace multiversal nature. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. And also, is Anna Paquin sick? Because I would love to see her return as Rogue. and I didn't know if she is sick or not. I don't know. She just said hope she gets better, so I'm assuming that means something.
I hadn't heard.
But yeah, either way, like these picks, and keep your eyes out for Boys Season Quattro. And Simu apparently confirmed that Shang-Chi 2 is happening. Take your time, make it good. That's all I have to say.
Guys, we got an Alan Richardson cast, and I respect the Eddie, but you know who I got? Colossus.
Ooh, oh, fun.
Alan Richardson Colossus.
Oh, looky there.
All day.
Give him that accent. Cody Bishop, X-Men reference in your name. You win the secret contest of the chat, our undying love and gratitude. Thank you for chiming in. Which comic, Coy, is the one where it first shows Wolverine having bone claws? I know of the 2 holographic ones where he loses his adamantium.
Those are in the Fatal Attraction storyline, which was just teased by Bo DeMeo on the Twitters as important for this next episode. I do believe Uncanny X-Men 302, I believe, is the one where he loses them, or it's in Wolverine 75. I don't remember which one. It's either 75 or 100. But that same arc, he does pop his bone claws because it was like, oh, we lost his, and no, not done. And then he goes feral right after that, and then the artist changes. So I don't remember the actual first issue, but I know it's in the Fatal Attraction storyline. I just don't remember the exact pop within those.
Interesting. All right. Got to go dig through some comic crates and find the exact.
And it's a great run. Fatal Attractions is great.
Oh, goodness. Chance Perdomo, R.I.P. Chance Perdomo, absolutely. As Sunspot.
Oh, man, he would have been great.
Would that have been a good? Damn, man. I'm still wrapping my head around that. Rest in peace, man. That hurts.
Such a shame.
Zoop. I would love to know what the story of your name is. Either way, thank you. Thank you for being here, brother. All right. Do you think Wolverine will die again in Deadpool 3? If Hugh won't keep playing him, he has to sacrifice himself, or at least have a decent exit at the end.
I believe that he will appear in Secret Wars. Because I feel like coming back isn't going to be a one-off necessarily. I do see a sacrifice possible, but I think he'll probably show up in Secret Wars because of how big the character is. If he doesn't, I do think a big, oh my god. But I kind of think he might hand off the torch. I think he might hand off to the next Wolverine. I think we might see an element of
him literally handing an actual physical torch to an actor.
Another Wolverine runs off.
Yeah, and then no, to the actor, and then the actor goes and gets in costume.
You know what would be great? And I've wanted them to do this multiverse stuff before. I want there to be a ton of Wolverines in this movie. And I think that's what we're getting. I think we're getting Radcliffe. I think the Henry Cavill rumor is possible. But imagine there's 15 Wolverines, and they're all in this, and we know this is Wolverine's either last movie or second to last movie, and we find out one of those Wolverines is the MCU Wolverine, but we have to wait until the movie comes out.
That would be awesome.
They announce you've actually already met him, and then you wait until.
You know what I would love?
That's what I want.
You know what I would love is if they have Wolverine variants played by Robert Downey, Chris Evans. They
don't come back as there. They come back as Wolverine.
All come back as Wolverine.
Yes.
Everyone comes back as Wolverine.
You get a Wolverine. You get a Wolverine.
I don't know. See, that's the interesting thing about Deadpool 3 is I don't know it seems a little bit heavier, a little bit more dramatic. Not even to assert that the first 2 films don't have that kind of stakes too, but this seems to be leading more with there's a heavy thing happening here. So it makes me wonder what kind of I could see a more serious movie ending with a sacrifice or something like that. I feel like that almost comes kind of close to Logan territory because essentially his death is a sacrifice. But I don't know. I'm so it's been a while since I've been this excited and in that state of I have no idea what it's gonna be.
Yeah, feels good.
And part of me is I kind of think it'd be cool to do something funny with him at the end instead. But I also it's because Logan has been the whole conversation with Kevin Feige and him and everything has been we don't want to screw up the legacy of Logan. So part of me feels like doing a serious send off almost would be too
invalidate
close to that.
the other. Yeah, agreed.
So Melvin of the Melvins, Melvin Banegas, thank you for being here and for having a lovely rhythmic name, which I know you chose yourself. So take all the credit for it. But
Bucky Barnes, Tom Hardy would have been a good Wolverine if it wasn't for him. Also, thank you as ever, Bucky Barnes. Tom Hardy's not tall though. Tom Hardy is a little bit shorter than me.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Tom Hardy's a little dude.
What?
Tom Hardy's very short.
big stepper wearing size 7 men's?
They shoot him very creatively. Tom Hardy's a little guy.
He looks like such a big dude.
Well, he's big, but the way
he
he's
looks like a big dude.
But that's why he looks so big
Yeah.
this way is because he's little. We were doing a scene on Dark Knight Rises, and I remember before he put his boots on, he's a real close talker if he likes you, and he was like this, and I was like, I'm literally nose to nose, and he's like my height, dude. He's a little guy.
Have you seen that SNL sketch, The Close Talkers?
That's Tom.
It's like
That's dude is a close, but only if he likes you. So I was very flattered while also being like, this is. He also he had like a tan line of like where he was, and it was really funny to have someone that intense look like they had a thong on their face.
Kiss me,
Love
you
Tom.
fool.
Love that dude.
Kiss me, thong face.
But he's a little guy.
Oh my god. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Melvin? Quick question for Coy. And I'm only compelled to ask, since McFarlane Toys is releasing a Captain Carrot figure, please recommend some comics so he can become my new favorite character, and to me, because I need to know more about Captain Carrot.
Man, I do not. I know of Captain Carrot. I will not pretend to know issues. I will not pretend to have the ability to give you recommendations.
Oh my god.
My Captain Carrot knowledge is.
Oh my god.
Literally,
this is the best looking character.
If you go Captain Carrot #1, you will get the Captain Carrot dream. There's also, I think, a showcase came out like 10 years ago where they spotlit Captain Carrot. So yeah, those two, I guess.
Now, Captain Carrot versus Pace Pod Pete, let me tell you.
Everyone in the chat, I was an actor before I was a host, and I was a stuntman and an actor on Dark Knight Rises. I was one of Bane's henchmen.
Coy is in 27 dresses.
Yeah, I'm actually
Bride Wars. I was about to say,
yeah.
or was it Bride Wars?
I was Chris Pratt's little brother.
Oh, you are a Hollywood
I was a
Chris.
little Star-Lord.
You are Chris adjacent.
Yeah, that was way back in the day. I was like, he was the only actor I've ever worked with that knew every crew member's name and introduced me to the entire crew. He's a sweetheart. But yeah, I was a little Bane henchman boy.
Benchman, you were a benchman.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. We're gonna go right back to the super chats, but I just
we got
need
some Captain Carrot to
update
show
this
off.
graphic because we owe it to the people. All right,
Obviously.
to show the greatest character in comics history, bar none, barring Liefeld's only feat. Which I had to Google the etymology of that.
Rob shared my clip joking about that Easter egg video, and that the opening of that is the Liefeld only feat. So it's the only part that played in his Instagram story. And I thought it was so funny that he's like 15 seconds. A jab at me.
Look at that carrot.
I love that.
Look at that carrot.
Love it.
All right, back to the super chats. Leave your recommendations for what Carrot comics to read and who should play Captain Carrot in the film. And don't say Andy Serkis. Other people can do mocap. Okay?
Yeah.
He's already
Just
Claw. Bring back Claw. Claw is
Claw's fun.
So fun to watch. Rhett Proctor, back in action. I love you're in character too. You got the Deadpool Wolverine logo in your avatar pick. Thank you for contributing to the chat. Coy, guess what? I feel like Nicholas Hoult will be the wild card that may not come back for the multiverse saga because now he's Lex Luthor at DC.
I don't know if that would be a contractual issue because they didn't announce it for so late. Remember, he was like the last holdout. We all knew he was cast, but then they were like, no, he's not. And they're like, yeah, he is. It'd be kind of funny if there was some contractual issue with like him filming Deadpool and they had to wait. Like if he was on set, they're like, we have to wrap, we have to finish. I don't know if it's going to be a really big an issue. Like there's not as big of a divide between Marvel and DC as people think because the fandoms hate each other for whatever reason, but the studios don't. They're rival studios, they're competitors, but like Gunn is still talking to Feige and like the Jeff Johns and Feige are friends and like there's people that work for both studios. There's people that work for both comic companies. So I don't think it would be as direct an issue as some people might assume.
Oh, you're going to be Captain Carrot now, according to
Yes, I'm ready.
Also, Owen is contending that Captain Carrot already showed up in Guardians.
Oh,
3.
I missed that, but I'll have to investigate. That's funny.
That is an interesting thing to think about, though. I mean, I feel like they can universe share him, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Maybe they'll cast him as a Wolverine. Nate Carlson back in action with the lovely avatar. Thank you again for jumping in again. I completely missed Xavier. My apologies. That's fine.
That's
Xavier
so funny.
is
I love that.
the top one people go to. So it forced us to get more interesting with the polls.
Forest for the trees. It's sometimes you don't see the one that you're talking about because you're already talking about it.
Yeah. All right. Keenan Cairns. I feel like there's another character, though, that I'm missing. I feel like there was almost like one of those, maybe it was like a cartoon that felt very comic book inspired that had like a dude in a wheelchair zipping around. I just can't think of who it was. And I don't think it's any of the characters we've named. It's something from childhood. And
Tom Cruise and Carrie Elways in Days of Thunder.
It's
one of my favorite wheelchair scenes is a race between the two of them. Have you ever seen Days of Thunder?
No.
Dude, it's Top Gun with cars.
I've heard this exact assessment, actually.
Incredible. I love Days of Thunder.
All right. Add that to the list.
Rubbing
Maybe
his
we'll
racing,
react
guys.
To it. Who knows?
Yes.
I would love to. And hey, Nate, I thank you for chiming back in. You know, very generous of you to follow up like this. You didn't have to do that, so we very much appreciate you. Keenan Cairns, the most caringest person in the stream, perhaps. Koi, love your channel in particular. And if you haven't subscribed to Koi's solo channel,
it's my name.
Go find it, subscribe. He's got great comic-centric and other things-centric, perhaps even rap beef-centric content.
Might become.
You know, either way, go over there. Koi is all about the live theater experience. He's all about the comic books. He's all about breaking down and recommending and all that goodness.
Every week, giving you guys my top 9 comics. I read 50 comics. You don't have to. I give you my favorites, so you can just dive into the ones that I think are good if you like my taste, and then previewing the comics upcoming and giving you comic book news. I just did a Fall Guy review. So, yeah, my name, I'm almost at 24,000, and I want to be at 25K in May because it rhymes. So please, 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 I appreciate you.
One of the best stitches I saw the other day is what's a word you pronounced wrong that's haunted you forever, and then Justin Timberlake stitched himself in and just goes,
just nodding.
Me.
Oh, that's so good.
And then I also saw a meme where it's like a triangle of May pronunciations.
Yes.
that way, including him. But yes, go subscribe to Koi's channel. It's a good, not supplement, like it's great for alongside what we do, because what we do here is different from what you do on your channel.
Yeah, very intentionally.
And they both
never wanted to
relate, but they're not exactly the same, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And they offer to do intros and graphics for me. That's amazing. I will hunt you down. I'm trying to get to a baseline of like the puzzle pieces of just knowing how to run the thing and being consistent. When I get to the graphics and intros point, you'll be the first person I hit up. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Gee, appreciate that. And we're reaching the home stretch. We're still going to roll through all of these, but just to let y'all know. And yeah, keep your water bottles handy in case you got to go to the bathroom.
Been a long stream.
Definitely. Thank you for subscribing too, Ashley Brantley. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Reject Nation. You are officially a citizen now.
I think you should just subscribe to my page, but maybe not.
Thank you for subscribing to Koi.
You're
one. Officially a citizen of Koi.
Nation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got to come up with a cheeky.
I call it the Koi Pond.
Yeah, you're in the Koi
They
Pond.
joined the Koi Pond.
You're a fish in the Koi Pond.
Fish in the
now.
Koi Pond.
Get it? All right. Allison Becker back in action. Appreciate you chiming back in. Thank you so much for being doubly generous. It's totally unreal to me that Marvel hasn't hired you, Koi. Kevin can't do everything. He needs help. Also, what's happening with Kang now? Do they kill him off?
I got 2 theories.
Ants.
Not about Kang. About me.
Oh.
I think I might be a bit too much on Twitter. I also think that
he had James Gunn.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, now he's over. I mean, maybe DC should call me.
Yeah.
But I also think that they have a very specific way of doing things where they kind of promote either they find comic writers, they find TV and writers from other things. There's not a lot of like already in the industry folk, because I think it would terrify the fandom. If you don't know me and all of a sudden you're like, this random guy got hired at Marvel. I just think they're being very careful with their brand. But I have talked with Kevin Feige about rollouts and about the way they present stuff, and I have had conversations with him just casually, nothing like business, but he is so invested in the fan experience, and he has genuinely cared about my input in the past to the point where I would love to be like a consultant or something that would help without being like, oh my God, the fans are scared. I hope one day that works out, because I am not long for the always being on YouTube world. I probably have like 5 years left of like endurance in me, and I want to have kids. And like, I don't want my kids to be like, Dad, can we get non-store brand cereal because the YouTube revenue took all our... No, son,
we
you must
have
dust off the
everything
Cheerios.
in life at home.
Yeah, we don't go out to eat and we don't travel. So I do want to perhaps get over to Marvel at some point.
You should be hired as the official ambassador, between the MCU and the Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters. That is the role you are destined for. Koi.
I haven't not tried. It's very scary over there.
I bet it is, boy. GG. This is a good question. Thank you for chiming in the chat. I think Koi is going to be a bit better equipped to like really nail this one. So Koi, I am clearing out the red carpet for you, my friend. This camera, this camera, this camera. Which rappers, which hero?
Okay, which rappers do you compare to which superhero? I would say the man is a poet and a linguist, and he also thinks like really far ahead. So I'm gonna go RZA as Charles Xavier.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna go with
yeah.
someone who is really scrappy in a fight, who is hyper intelligent, but he also will make sure you stay down. I'm gonna go with Eminem as oh shoot. Had him. I lost him. I'm gonna come back to Eminem.
Deadpool.
I could picture it and then I lost him.
Okay.
Oh no, actually, I'm gonna reframe that because I'm gonna make that work. A rapper who uses humor as a way to hide his pain, a rapper who is able to make you think about your own choices in a different way, and a guy who is so smart it breaks the fourth wall of reality. Eminem as Deadpool. I like that.
All right.
I'm going to go with a rapper who uses comedy as a defense mechanism, but in a way that makes him more comfortable. I'm going to go with a rapper that has a lot of pop culture awareness, a rapper that basically is able to bounce around between activities and do it all while being underground but still somehow popular. Spider-Man, Childish Gambino. I'm gonna go
Not Lil Mabu.
not. Oh wait, actually, hold on. I'm gonna go with. There's a character in DC called Impulse, which is like a super speedy Flash that is able to kind of like bounce around a lot of ideas and also kind of uses the Speed Force in a different way. Juice WRLD. I'm gonna give the man who is so tactical and so vengeful, but is so entertaining while he's doing it. You kind of doubt your own morality because you're like, that was cold, but I was invested. Kendrick Lamar's Punisher.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with a man who wants peace, but he's willing to go to war to get that peace. A guy who is a lyrical genius, but he's able to be both pop and street, and that is going to be a man who is from a darkness that found the light. Gambit, J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Gambit, J. Cole. I think that's good. That's and we'll do. Actually, guys in the chat, give me a rapper and I'll pick somebody. Someone who is slept on, underappreciated, and is actually much more talented than people realize.
Aesop Rock, Koi. Who is Aesop Rock?
Uses creativity as a way to use his willpower. Lil Dicky as Kyle. It's Kyle Green Lantern. Kyle Rayner Green Lantern.
Kyle Rayner.
A$AP Rocky is a man who plays 4D chess, who is using the medium of hip hop in a way that no one else does, and who actually has more words in his vocabulary than anyone else, but doesn't get the credit he deserves for reshaping the universe. Legion.
Ooh! Aesop Rock Legion. You heard it here first. I just want to shout out. This isn't even a casting. Everybody
is
keeps,
so fun.
Keeps name checking Eminem and Venom. One of my favorite all-time rappers, who is terrific, got to be in Venom 2 because she had a song called Venom, I think completely unrelated, that they just realized was a banger and was kind of cold, and nasty in vibe, and we're just like, hey, let's just get you into the movie and do a slightly different version of the song.
That's fantastic.
So shouts out to Lil Sims, not getting enough credit for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And who's Drake in the MCU?
Drake is going to be someone who's very popular. He's kind of surface, but he's very talented. He's very good at lyrics, but he does it in a way that's mainly to make people happy. It's someone who has powers, but they're not used in an offensive way. They're kind of for joy. Dazzler. He's
there you go. Leave your castings as well for
or Jubilee.
Who do you got for
Will Smith? Would be probably like Cyclops. He's an entrepreneur. He's the first one to break in. He got the first Grammy in rap. He's like the front of something. He's got leadership abilities. People don't always like his choices. Sometimes he gets violent in a way that makes people uncomfortable. Cyclops.
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross is interesting. But by the way, obviously Suge Knight is Darkseid.
Ugh.
And
yes, baby.
Wow, that was fun. Yeah, that is this has been a fun journey.
Doom.
MF Doom. I mean, come on. I don't know if
MF Doom
is that it writes itself. If he's not MF Doom, he's Dr. Doom. But if he's not that.
He's King Ghidorah.
XX Tentacion is someone that betrays his people, someone that's a rat, someone that is not as talented as he thinks
Will
he is.
Smith Hulk. Oh god.
Hammerhead. Someone that Penguin, like a sniveling little creature that goes to prison a lot.
All right, and then Andre and Big Boy are the Wonder Twins.
Ooh, Andre and Big Boy are Superman and Lex, depending on,
Sure.
and they can kind of switch off. They're both masters of their craft. They both like are two sides of the same coin at times. Sometimes they have to work together to be outcasts. Sometimes they do their solo stuff. Neither of them are evil in all ways, but they think they're correct at all ways.
Vanilla Ice, Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, that's so good.
Who's
Drake,
Ghost
Mr.
Rider?
Fantastic isn't bad.
Who's Ghost Rider?
Uh,
Is Meek Mill Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider is a spirit of
Rick
vengeance.
Ross Kingpin.
Ooh, hold on. A
We
spirit
gotta
of-
move on.
Spirit
from
of
this.
Vengeance, Ghost Rider, someone who uses his power to take people down, someone who's like got animosity, but like people love him from
Yeah.
like the underground,
Yeah.
but got popular. DMX.
Okay. DMX.
I feel like that aggression that still somehow made it to mainstream. Like when you look at a DMX concert, it's crazy how big he got, considering how aggressive.
Sure.
So yeah, that was fun, guys.
P Diddy as Des. Oh God, P Diddy.
P
could be
Diddy's
all-
mojo.
Ion Blush. We could do this one all day. Leave all your rapper castings. Every week, ask this question.
Love it.
Snow. Informer. Eon
Ice Spice,
Blush.
Emma Frost.
How did Vane This Party Sucks happen, Koi? And thank you. I've seen you in
Oh, I
chat
did
for
mistake
so
X for
long.
6ix9ine. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Tekashi,
sorry.
The best.
sorry.
He's Ratcatcher. Go on.
Yeah, there it is.
Ion Blush, thank you for holding it down in the chat for so much today. Koi, how did Vane This Party Sucks happen?
Oh, it's a short film I'm in that is basically a VR. The whole thing shot in VR on a 360 camera.
Yeah.
So we literally had to do it like a play. So the whole thing is like a moving 3D camera that's shooting every angle.
That's
So
so cool.
there's a play moving at all times. My friend Maggie Levin, who is a genius director, she is fantastic. Cast me in Rocky Horror. I was the narrator in Rocky Horror, and I basically played him like Deadpool because
Hell yeah.
if you look at the narrator, he breaks the fourth wall, and I did it from the audience, so I do half it on stage and half from the crowd, and all the callbacks I'd be at the crowd, so it's very Deadpool. She cast me in the LA production of Rocky Horror, and that turned into us doing Vane together, and it's one of the only things I've done with VR, and it was so special, and Maggie is such a good director. You should check out her VHS section in, I think it's the second VHS movie.
Oh, snap.
She's
Yeah.
so good. She's got a
Oh,
few other things coming. She and I talk about comics a lot 'cause she really wants to get into that world. Her husband's in the world of comic movies, and basically I'm like, well, if they like his work and you are a great director, that connection. He did Doctor Strange, Scott Derrickson. So she's an angel and one of the most talented producers directors I've ever met, and she did a lot of my photography. She's really great.
Guys, leave more castings also. We need Missy Elliott. We need Meg Thee Stallion. We need Nicki Minaj. We need Tupac. We need Biggie. Who are all these people in the MCU or any other comic book movie? And also, can we check out Vane This Party Sucks?
Yeah, I
Is
think
it
it's online.
available
I think it's on
online?
YouTube in VR, like in 3D.
Go get your helmets on, people. Nora Mac, you're not whack. There's a rhyme that rhymes. Hey, thanks for the super sticker. I love this little enthused, yeah.
Very
Oh
sweet.
my goodness.
Very sweet.
yeah. Thank you so much. I love super stickers. They're underrated. Deadshot. Thank you for being here. People are saying, and thank you also for your contribution to comics. People are saying it's impossible for us to get Spider-Man 98 because we have the new show. But I think since this is the multiverse saga, it's possible. I agree.
Yeah, I think this is definitely possible now, especially the popularity. I would love to see multiple, especially because that's an adult Spider-Man, and the freshman year is young. Bring them
Absolutely.
both, multiverse it.
Bring them both, multiverse it, and T-Pain. Get T-Pain in there as well. His War Pigs cover, oh my God.
It's fantastic.
Listen to that. I love the revelation that, T-Pain because of Auto-Tune, and then you're like, oh, damn, he's
good
He's got
at
real
this.
pipes. Let's
Yeah.
go. Never lose your nerd. Thank you. We won't. We'll try not to. You guys help us not to lose the nerd, so thank you so much. Just want to send my love, and X-Men 97 is life. It is life, and Coy and Greg will be spending life on Tuesday night.
Two
Checking
left to
out
go.
the next episode, so be there in the middle
Go.
of the night for when that goes up. Y'all are killing it, man. Even
It's been a
across the
blast.
remotes, it's been an adventure. I'm proud to have been a small part of this, even if I haven't been able to be on camera for it.
We appreciate
Love
it. And
you
it's been a
guys.
blast. It's been one of the better shows I've gotten to share with everyone.
Hells yeah, dude. Sharing is caring. Deadshot's back. Affleck, thank you, Deadshot. Double thank you. Affleck in Deadpool and Wolverine. His Daredevil, now King Daredevil.
I would
what do you
love
think?
that. I want to see a darker, been through some stuff over the years. Ben Affleck playing a darker, been through some stuff over the years.
Is
Daredevil.
that basically he's the Kingpin now?
Kinda, in a way. Like he runs town pretty harsh. I love that. Bring that on, Deadshot. Good call.
Clayton Crook. All right, we got to keep this one not 25 to 40 minutes long, but Clayton Cook wants to know, thank you for chiming in and for stoking the fires here. Appreciate you being on the stream. So, okay, here we go.
How you going to phrase this for YouTube?
So Kendrick is not always nice to women, and Drake's a perv. Last night was wild. I just want to know your overall thoughts on rap beef, and this one in particular. Rap beef is a part of the culture and the history of the medium. Oh, yeah.
I'll take over while this moment happens.
Yes.
I think rap beef is a great...
coming up with like 100 great ideas.
Oh, no, please, you go. I was just going to vamp. Please.
That was me covering for me being distracted.
Okay, so I'm going to take up because I want to hear your thoughts.
I mean, rap beef is a part of the tradition. I mean, obviously, again, we're two white dudes, so like I can't explain the true culture to you. But from my understanding and from everything I've seen over time, like it is, you know, a way for the game to kind of check itself and for individuals to, you know, spar and to, you know, question authenticity, but also just to challenge the medium and to really force people onto, you know, their highest level of game. And there is a lot of tradition within rap of, you know, freestyle and battling and stuff like that. And someone had just pointed out to me that like Eminem probably is one of the last remaining like battle rappers where like that's clearly part of his MO.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays it's not really so much of a thing. So it's been interesting to see this happen because like, you know, Pusha T and Drake were beefing before, and that's the most recent time before this that I remember really being like, oh damn, something's happening out there. And that was, I've heard a lot of people talking about this, and that certainly seemed like it kind of created a new level because that was like, here's a huge nuke of a revelation of like, this is about you as a person in a whole other way that like is, you know, Drake didn't even come back to that. He was just like, I'm just going to press release talk about this and we're going to be done with it. So like, I think there is an interesting moment that we're in because I think people do expect what we got late last night rather than what we got over the past few days and yesterday morning, like the whole 616 in Los Angeles or what. Like, you know, I expect that people taking shots, people sparring, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I know that these things have always had a tendency probably to get ugly and personal, but yeah, it's fascinating to see this revitalized and to see so many people hopping on it for better or worse.
I want to shout out, someone said, and this is genius, I think, Ice Cube as Norman Osborn and O'Shea Jackson as Harry Osborn.
Yeah!
Oh my God, I love that.
I like it.
Okay, so, and Kanye West obviously Red Skull. I think Kendrick, that I think was at least to a point disproved. There was no proof, and there's also clips of him discussing his respect for not just women, but his hatred for anyone that is in that category. Like, there's literally him on, I don't love Charlemagne, but him on, like, the morning show and stuff, saying, like, hey, not only is that insulting to me, but it's insulting to women that are actually in that position. Like, yeah, you're putting my name in the mud, but real things have happened, and this is disparaging the women that have gone through this for real. So making little of that is bull, and I personally don't think, with the way he seems to have reverence for women, that's him. I obviously don't know. So between the two,
it's definitely bait.
It seems like a call out that is just a
see if somebody comes to corroborate this.
And the Drake stuff seems more sketchily relevant because of actions and because of the Stranger Things that are happening. But rap beef itself, I do want to speak on with more of like my experience. I think we as a culture do not get out our animosity in healthy ways. And I think weirdly, though it can end in violence, rap beef is a great way to actually level up artistry. I think like, emotions are important to be felt, and that includes anger. I think we talk about women being emotional, and that's so gross. Whereas men, when we're angry, we don't consider it emotion. Like, guys are pissed all the time. We're like, but men aren't considered emotional. Oh, that's insane hypocrisy.
Lots of things condition, especially
the conversation
men in society, to mostly engage with anger and to at least not have as much engagement with the rest of that spectrum.
And I think that's emotion.
Which makes you emotional in a whole other way that's harder to figure out.
But I think we should acknowledge all emotions should be shared. And so, like, I think that I personally don't love how meek we are in society a lot of the time. I don't love that I lean left and it's a cowardly side of politics. Like, I think it's very toothless and embarrassing to be a part of at times. And I think there should be more aggressive handling of things. And I think that if you follow me beyond just this channel, you see that in my other things. So I think Rap Beef is an important way to not only express art, but also express emotion and also to level up the conversation. And I think that debate should be more common. I think that this is a great way to debate. I think that sometimes not killing each other but having violence is the answer. And so I love Rap Beef because it's an outlet for important emotion and important artistry, and I think that there should be, I'm not a rapper, I think that I wish there were ways for me to get out those thoughts and things without being afraid of being punished. Like, I live in constant fear of me saying something, getting someone to be like, well, I'm not hiring that guy. Yeah. I think we need to be able to vent, and we need to have strong opinions. Like, I would love to be protesting, and I would love to be at certain sit-ins and things, but I know that could end every bit of my career, and that sucks. And so, like, I personally think sometimes violence is the answer.
It's fascinating, and yeah, I like watching a spar. I like watching the immediacy of when you can tell, when you can feel the sort of spontaneous energy of like, oh man, these dudes are cooking, these dudes are responding to each other. You can feel there's just something more. You know, I love a record, and I love, you know, an album release cycle and what that is. But like, yeah, it makes it feel like you're watching a different or listening to or engaging with a slightly different exhibition, a slightly different form of entertainment, because it is for people's entertainment also. It is like wrestling in a way, and I imagine that within the rap game, there's probably got to be a good amount of kayfabe adjacentness, you know, to borrow a wrestling phrase.
I think up until last night.
And that's the thing you asked, like, how do I feel, or how do we feel, you know, overall. Like, I think it's an interesting and a lovely tradition that's very unique to this style of music that a lot of other styles of music don't have as much, unless you're, you know, Charlie Daniels dueling with the devil.
Which is also cool, right? This is the other music have that. Like, jazz has this. Like, other, and I just feel like it's a beautiful art form that doesn't get the respect it deserves.
Yeah, and this one, I'm just waiting to see what happens now, because last night it took a turn out of it took a turn into something wholly different that I have not quite experienced before, that eclipses the Pusha T.
It left the
stuff.
octagon, man. Now it's on the street.
Yeah, and now it feels like, oh my god, these dudes might just need to actually go out and just fight each other or something.
I can't wait to find out what's dropped next. I'm so excited.
I'm like actually kind of worried now. I'm like, I don't know if anyone's walking away from this thing. Like it seems like this is and you can have
J. Cole riding his bike.
Like, for as much crap as he has gotten,
everyone knows now he was right, though.
Big respect for coming out and being like, you know what, my heart is not in this. I don't want to do this. I was trying to rise to something. Yeah.
It also takes a man to walk away from the thing that you're not in.
I respect that, and also I just see him and I'm like, oh, good call, man.
Yeah, dude.
What did you know going into this that you were like, you know what, peace, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm still very fascinated to see what happens, but I'm also at that point now where I'm like, oh god, how much more ugly and vitriolic and nuclear is this going to become?
Are we changing the thumbnail to Kendrick and Drake by the end of this?
We are going to say, yeah, exactly. And shouts out to Bucky Barnes in the chat, holding down the moderation. Love you for that. Always holding it down in these chats. Even when we never even like give you a heads up it's happening. You're just always on point. That's what we love about
like the
you.
Winter Soldier. He's ready.
We have many things about you, and also good call. I like actor 50 Cent, and you know, I'd watch him as Bishop.
Yeah,
I'd watch him as the Bish. Olivia Ray Dredge, thank you for chiming in. What's your opinion on Invincible Koi? We don't really get it here.
I have not watched the newest chunk. I weirdly, like, when that gap happened, I was like, I kind of fell off, which is weird for me. I just haven't been as invested. I've talked a lot about the medium of animation being a little harder for me to connect to, and I definitely feel like X-Men is landing me, and I just don't, like, really want to watch another animated show. Like, I only watch, like, one comedy, one drama, like, at a time. I'm very singular in a genre, so I just really have not been as invested. I like the comic a lot, but the show hasn't really gotten me back. I hear it's amazing.
Wow.
I'm just, there's a lot of stuff. And also, like, I can't have everything I consume be superhero. There's so much to watch and enjoy. So it's just Maybe later.
There's rap beef you have to
That I'm
enjoy.
so much more invested.
Kendrick actually said, and this is the last I'll say it, he has that one bar about, like, this was supposed to be, like an exhibition, like us both kind of going at each other, trading shots and upping each other's game, and then, you took it
You
personal.
went this way.
And now we're going out of that race. So I really like that part of it. I like that sort of, like, we're going to duke it out.
We're
and
aware of this, yeah.
We're going to take some shots, but we're also going to hopefully elevate each other. And it's interesting to see how people mix beef with songs, because not every diss track is a song, and some of them are songs.
And I will give
too.
credit. Drake's songs are more song. Like Drake, you could listen to like it's a song.
But Euphoria is still the one I would listen to the most.
100%. 100%.
Christian Unpronounceable, thank you again, Olivia. Really appreciate that. And I have no thoughts on Invincible because I have seen none of it, unfortunately. But one day we'll watch it together.
Yeah, when I'm back
off
invested.
the clock, and we'll hold hands. Christian Unpronounceable, thank you for being here. Thank you for holding it down since the beginning of this. And also, thank you for encouraging people to hit the like button. It does a big help on the video. It gets it all spread around the YouTubes because, the live streams is a little harder to do that. So the Super Chats, the likes, the engagement in the comments, both live and after the fact, always appreciated. Helps us out more than you could ever realize. And, appreciate you all for chiming in. Geek Factor. Greek Factor would be very different. Greek Factor. Thank you for chiming in. Ooh, where is your denomination from?
Poland.
Poland. Hey!
Spoiler alert, it's in the sentence.
Shout. Oh. I like to keep
I
these
wasn't-
reactions fresh.
I wasn't
on
some
them,
sort of like all currency genius. I saw the word Poland.
Just want don't be modest. Go ahead. Just wanted to say you guys have fans all the way here in Poland. That's so cool, man. That's one of the things that always strikes me the most. Sort of is like when someone comes up and finds us in the chat or a comment or wherever and says like hello from anywhere in the world. I mean, we love our viewers in America and in Canada and
Everywhere.
But yeah, hearing this
The
reaches
scope.
as far as it can just is so cool and surreal to me even still. So thank you for tuning in. Shouts out to all you guys out in Poland. And I'm hearing the Fall Guy is heading for a disappointing box office, under 30 million. What's your thoughts? I saw a headline earlier this week that said the Fall Guy could make $50 million at the box office, or it could make $30 million at the box office. And I was like,
What?
true?
I guess that's
I
math.
guess
I guess all things are possible.
Could make any amount of money.
I want to, and I'll be brief because we've run very long. I think that there's a really interesting thing happening in film, Twitter, Instagram, film, all the little outlets of social media. I think we've become so tribal that it doesn't give new films a chance. I literally saw an entire thread of people going like, "See, we need Marvel in the summer, otherwise movies don't open," and like bragging about Fall Guy not doing well. Fall Guy is much
Fall Guy is an adaptation of an existing property.
and Fall Guy is a lot closer to what you enjoy about Marvel films than you probably realize, person on the internet. And I really worry that the action comedy, it went away a lot when Marvel got popular. We have a lot less of buddy comedies. We have a lot less of the new IP or, not as common IP buddy comedy or just action comedy at all. And I miss it. And so for me, The Fall Guy, I thought was going to be a really big return to form for Shane Black type films because it feels very Shane Black, and I love that genre. Everyone's like, man, why didn't we get The Nice Guys too? This is the closest we were probably going to get, and now it's not getting more. So I personally love it. It's my number 2 movie of the year, second only to Dune. I've been screaming from the rooftops. I think it's a love letter to movie making in a way that doesn't feel Oscar baity, except for getting a new Oscar for stunt people. Usually when they make films about filmmaking, it's like, we would like the Oscar for someone acting as someone else, and look how important we are. This film is celebratory, not masturbatory, and I loved that. And I'm really bummed it's not doing well. I had a lot invested in my hopes for it, so I'm bummed, and I really loved it, and it's a real shame.
Maria, I believe, or MJ, I believe the reviews mostly have been positive, but yeah, it's mostly about how it's tracking in terms of just the box office, unfortunately.
And it's such a good romantic movie. I can't wait. Like, I haven't gone with my girlfriend because I saw it at a stunt screening like 2 months ago. The first thought I had as I left was, man, I can't wait to share this with my girlfriend. It's such a great romance that happens to be hilarious and action-packed. It's a 3-movie thing, romance, action, comedy. That's so rare now, and it was so good.
And those are things great action comedy is something I would love. I love The Nice Guys. guys, and I'm out here being like, bring us more romance, like an action comedy with a lot of romance that I can get into. Like, please.
And like that article that came out about like sex in movies is down 40%, and like there's all this stuff that it just worries me that like the first step towards accepting fascism is accepting everyone's belief that this is the right way. And I'm really afraid, like, I think Gen Z is on a great path for being like radically motivated, and I'm really worried that because they're so afraid of fucking, that we won't get more of them. Like, I really think that there's a generation that's going to be, like, afraid of nudity and afraid of love and be so prone to be aware of violence. Like, we have so much violence in movies, and we have so much gross, like, horrors that we see nothing but negativity. And movies like this that are positive, movies like this that are loving are dying. And, like, even simple comic-y action, like Marvel movies, is still violence. Like, it's still punching.
Yeah.
There should not be 100 times as much punching as there is loving. And it scares me. Like, I really think that we need to love each other, and sometimes physically that should be represented of age, of course. I worry, man. I'm worried about society.
I agree. Rhett Proctor, my last question. Do you guys want to see Anya Taylor-Joy? Thank you also, Rhett Proctor, for being here. We've called out your name a couple times. Would you guys want to see Anya Taylor-Joy return as Magic in Deadpool and Wolverine or Secret Wars? She is one of the biggest stars now.
I would love to see her come back as Magic because I thought she was great. I thought it was a really fun take on the character because it was like, she's awesome, but she was also like, oh, she's racist. Like, it was a really weird thing where they're like, make her all the way likable except one thing. So you're like, no. And it's a fun take because you're like, I feel weird about liking her. But
I'm excited to see New
Mutants
now.
Is fantastic. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a weird take. I think she's great. I would love to see her come back as someone like Emma Frost. So depending on how they do it. But yeah, I personally love Anya Taylor-Joy, and I thought her Magic was fantastic.
Absolutely. I'll weigh in once I've seen the film.
I've been seeing this rebuttal. Porn is so popular on the internet. Yeah, but porn isn't love. Like, it's not about like it's about the end of the thing. It's about like the last moments. But like, it's not about love.
Not if you watch the entire scene.
Well, the acting in that is not enough for me. No, but it's just that's not the same. And I keep seeing that argument. Like, people put that on my Twitter, and I was just I don't know. I'm worried.
They're not for the same purpose.
No.
I don't think it's really the same conversation, or that you should just like distill all the sexuality and sensuality out of
into
movies
that?
and just put it in porn only. It would be odd. But Dart Carr, thank you for chiming in. Appreciate you. Speaking of rap, have you guys heard Hi Ren by Ren? He has really important messages in his music that everybody needs to hear. I have not, but I'm pulling it up and I'm going to bookmark
I actually don't know
that.
this person. Now I'm excited to check out a new artist. Hi Ren by Ren.
Oh, interesting.
Okay,
Song by
okay.
Ren Gill. Okay. This guy with the guitar? Are we pulling up the right guy? I'm bookmarking this.
All right, I'm checking him out.
And it was released 2022. Defo gonna check it out. Appreciate the music recommendation. I like that this is a music-centric day at the stream. All right. Doe Eyes. Coy. Thank you for being here, Doe Eyes. We have Doe Eyes for you. Coy, can you recommend some Rogue comics? She was my favorite from the original X-Men series, and I'm loving the way 97 is exploring the character while I refresh to get the finals. Coy, get your Rogue Rex ready.
Okay.
What do you got?
Uncanny X-Men by Joe Majura was an arc I loved with Rogue. I'm trying to find out. Okay, so around issue 342, there's some really great Rogue stuff, like the Divided They Fall stuff with Gambit. So I think it starts around 340, goes through 350. So Uncanny X-Men in that 10-issue run that year, really great Rogue stuff. If you want to go back to her as a villain against the Avengers, I'd also recommend that. I think Rogue is one of those characters that doesn't get enough credit. So I would recommend that. Joe Majura is the artist. And then the current stuff with her all powered up by Captain Marvel again is also really rad. Let's see. Oh, this is a Rogue Squadron. It's not what I want. I'm trying to find the issue numbers.
Star Wars, Coy?
That's not the issues I want to bring up. Uncanny Avengers with the Unity Squad was the one I was just talking about with her, like, super powered up. I would also say Rogue and Gambit in the Jim Lee X-Men stuff around issue like 20 to 30. So Uncanny 340 to 350, and then from there go to X-Men 20 to 40 or thereabouts. And then more recently, I would also say the Uncanny Avengers run. And if you want to go to like her joining X-Men Annual number 10 and issues around there, is her going from villain to hero. Those are my 4 runs I would recommend.
That was beautiful, Coy. Thank you for regaling
Had to get the
us.
issues so people wouldn't be lost, because it's hard when you just say broad things like artists. and stuff.
Comment if you or just come back to the channel, find a way. Go to Coy's channel and just
Yeah.
let him know that
you wanna see,
picked
and I'll
up
make a
some
video.
books. Let him know what you want to see. Let him know what you saw, what you got inspired by this man here to pick up and read. Ragnar, love this name. Your profile pic is rated R. Queens of the Stone Age. Loved Coy's Storm video. I humbly disagree, though. Shots
Respect.
fired.
I
Coy.
respect humbly.
X-Men movie. First to show why mutants aren't in the MCU, how great they are as family, then solo prequels to show them as people who need that family. What do you think of this pitch?
I'd also be okay with the team first and split them up. I just think that audiences haven't gotten to know these characters as well as they should, and unless you have the exact right director, you'll end up with Justice League, the Joss Whedon cut, not Guardians.
The
It's
good one.
easier to go... It's easier to mess up rushing to a team than it is to do it right. So I think it's easier to have us invest in these characters to make the team feel special than it is to hope in one movie you can make the team feel special. I don't know a lot about the characters in the first X-Men movie. They're very surface versions, in my opinion, of those characters. I love what those movies got us to, but the first X-Men movie doesn't feel like the X-Men. It feels like a good mutant movie. I want X-Men movies, and I think I would love this version too, but I do think they need solo films in some way.
Absolutely, Coy. I couldn't have said it better myself. I think it would be interesting. I don't know.
I think either direction, but I think they do deserve them.
I feel like we are in that post space now where it's like it makes a lot of sense to do solos leading up to a team, but I think because we've had the MCU version of that and then like the weird chopped up DC, not kind of, but sort of not, maybe also yes doing that. Like I feel like now the doors are kind of busted off. And
Yeah, it is a different time for
go
sure.
from any direction. So yeah, I wouldn't be upset about a team leading into prequels or side quests or whatever.
Mhm.
I feel like the further we get into the comic book age of cinema, the less linear things will
And
have
the less
to
you have
be.
to spoon feed people for
And
sure.
the less you'll have to do homework, and the less you'll have to do everything chronologically, and yada 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 yada. But it's interesting to think about. For show, let's hop over. We got one more Streamlab before we do the final super duper.
So our last two.
There we go. All right, looky here. We got one more from Mr. Juan Ibar, and it's about the process. Thank you,
Ooh.
Juan. Coy.
Coy, you've mentioned you read 50 to 60 comics a week. Do you buy them as hard copies? Do you read digital as well? Love the new Comic Roundup show on your YouTube channel. Thank you for watching it. That means a lot. Thank you. Check out my page. I do read about that a week. I read probably half. I read probably 20 physical, 30 digital. Some of those I'm buying digital. Some of those are studios sending me digital copies. I would love to have them all physical, but I live in Los Angeles. It is not a large place. It is a dense place. I have a one-bedroom. I cannot have the space. As is, I have 9 long boxes, and I live with my girlfriend. It is not a spatial, conducive hobby. So
build all your furniture out of comics.
I thought about making my coffee table out of comics, like to put a glass over it, but then I was afraid, like, what if somehow like it spilled under? Like, I was so afraid I couldn't do it. Anyway, I just don't have the space. I prefer physical. I like the act of reading comics, but I do have to read some digitally. One, because that's how they get them to me, some of the studios. But also, it is more spatially available, so I read them on an iPad, so they're at least the right size.
Yeah.
So yeah, I read those, and I'd say about 20 are physical, and then the 30 to 40 are digital.
Hells yeah, not a bad breakdown.
Yeah, and I love doing it, and I love that you're watching, and I want people to get to read the comics that sound good to them, so breaking those down has been such a pleasure on my page.
Do people send you free hard copies?
Occasionally, I know, like, the first issue, studios like to go, like, you might like, they're like a drug dealer, like, give you a taste. Here's a little sample. First one's free.
You want some comics?
You want
kid?
some issue
You
ones?
want
I got some,
graphic
so, like,
novels.
Boom sends me, Boom Studios I work with, and I did their whole H for the Keanu Reeves book. When I love a title, I can just email them and they'll send me it. Like, they're great. Image, and they'll send me all number ones to see if I like it, and then I can chime in. Image sends me all their number ones, and will also occasionally send me a whole series. But like Marvel and DC and some others, I usually go digital as far as them sending me the readers.
Not bad, not bad. I love this comment. J. Cole riding his bike.
Just having a time.
And I don't know if Dwayne Johnson's really peeing in bottles, but we talked about it up at the top.
We
so,
did.
So that's on the stream for your replay enjoyment. And hells yeah, to your comic book intake, Coy. Let's get to these last remaining super chats. We got them. Let's switch the window over so it looks all pretty.
There it is.
Looky there. There we go. There we go. Who do we got? Michelle. thank you for chiming in. Looking lovely with the sun behind you in your profile, or is that a refrigerator? I don't know. Some nice light glow behind you. Have a great weekend, you guys. Heart to you. Appreciate it. I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope you're feeling relaxed. I hope you're feeling, rejuvenated, or at least recharging your batteries and rejuvenating yourself. And thanks for taking a little time out to spend it with us. That really means a lot. Like, every one of these, it's always like, I don't know,
There's a weekend, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And each time it's a joy, and each time, I'm always surprised by the love and vigor coming out of the chat. So thank you for this. And yeah, hopefully we'll catch you for many more streams to come. Geek Factor, Greek Factor,
He's
back
back
in action from Poland. I gotta say. Now that I listen to Koi Imagine the Amazing Spider-Man 3 for Andrew and then number 4 for all of them, I could die that day happy. Oh my God.
Geek Factor's in. I want it. He wants it. Let's make it happen.
Everybody would be down. Get a third Andy and
There's
then just
no
a big
reason
old
not to.
Spider Cross for
Spider
part
4. There's no reason not to. Give us all the Spider-Man, the character we want more of, not less.
Comment which letter in Spider-Man you would replace with the number 4 in the title.
Probably
and hell yeah. What's your favorite of all the Koi pitches you've heard up until this point? Leave it down below.
In the comments or in the live chat.
Yay. Deadshot, thank you for chiming in once again. Do you think, since AOS is canon now, it's about time, we'll get an older Johnny Blaze, since Robbie Reyes exists, or should they soft retcon for a younger Blaze?
I think Johnny Blaze is a character that it's actually a broader age range than most. Like, I don't picture him as an age. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Johnny Blaze is just like a biker.
As a cage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think personally someone like Norman Reedus, like, and that's to me like an ageless man. Like, I want a biker that feels like a biker. So yeah, I don't really have an age for him, and I don't know how the AOS will affect that, if it will.
Yeah, I feel like you could
do anything.
Yeah. You could do a lot. And plus, he's got the devil and
stuff.
Yeah.
And who knows how much that preserves you or ages you.
Sure.
Is that our last Normac?
Oh my God, it might be. We can do one more refresher after this, but I love this little GG, and I like to think that this is a subtle shout out to GG, who also sent a super chat. But Normac, love the super sticker, love the little video game controller with the thumbs up. Just makes me feel happy. I feel like they got a nice little arrangement of these super stickers. They're very charming and endearing.
As is our live chat.
You know what I mean?
Who is charming and endearing.
It's pretty charming and pretty endearing. And you know what? We are.
That is everybody in the game.
We did it. Koi,
yes.
2006. We're out here on the streets.
There it is. That was what our chat was really about.
There
that
we go.
Is,
that's
guys.
That is the biggest news of the week. I went through and I picked out some stories and whatnot, and Greg certainly weighed in on what the most important ones would be. But like this week, I have heard about nothing more. It started out at the beginning of the week with Dwayne Johnson. And then
by the time we got to
Tuesday,
gave
away to just only beef, and that's all I've heard about.
I woke up my girlfriend today with my analysis of all the stuff. I literally laid in bed. She was asleep. I was up for another hour just going through line by line, and I woke her up like, I gotta be, and she is so patient with me.
Oh, dude,
such a kindness.
Shouts,
and that's what she's gonna hear as soon as I leave. I'm gonna call her, and I have more to say.
So quick, we got Captain America and Falcon suit reveals. People got some controversial opinions about those. Who knows? We'll have to wait to see him in action. Kraven has been pushed back to the winter yet again. I know you've done a good amount of talking about that. Jonathan Nolan's interested maybe in some more Dark Knight. Who knows? And my favorite stray piece of movie news for the week is that Mike Flanagan might potentially take over The Exorcist for Blumhouse.
Exciting. I love
which
Flanagan.
Is about the only thing that could get me excited for a new Exorcist. I haven't seen Believer yet, but did not hear good things.
Yeah, but Flanagan.
Flanagan, if anybody could do it. And if anybody I trust to understand what few people seem to understand. I haven't seen The Exorcist 3 yet, which I hear people love, and Blatty was involved with. But few people seem to understand what the original film was and what works about it. And it's not like an exorcism ghoul movie.
It's not a jump scare.
Go watch like one of the schlockier, exorcism, last rite, kind of movies or whatever. What was the one with the Pope's Exorcist? Go watch that. But yeah, if he could take over The Exorcist, I would be down for that. But yeah, leave us, your final thoughts here as we wrap it up. What's your favorite?
Stephen Thomas with the mic drop.
Oh, Mike in the
Thank
drop.
you, Stephen
Mike
Thomas.
in the drop. Stephen Thomas sending us out in style.
What a perfect
It's
ending with
so
the hip-hop
fresh.
commentary today.
It's so fresh, I can't even get it on here on the screen.
On brand for today's conversation.
That is how fresh this is.
As ever, please leave a like so this replay does decent. Leave a comment below. Let us know if you're Team Drake or Team Kendrick. Let us know if you're going to Free Comic Book Day today. Let us know what you thought of some of the news we covered. Let us know if you prefer peeing in Poland Spring or Voss. Poland Spring's way too small of a head. But let us know all of those things, and thank you for being here for this giant, extra long, extra stream.
Thick boy.
Just like Dwayne would
Double
hope.
stuff Oreo. Yeah, that's right.
He's probably got a very strong stream. Seems very healthy.
How much PSI is in Dwayne Johnson's stream? Leave it in the comments on the replay after this. Am I more BTS now? In some ways, yeah, but I'm out here on the camera. I'm here today.
Yeah.
You'll be seeing my mug. You'll get tired
Don't
of
forget
me
your
soon
feud.
enough. Absolutely. I'm beefing out here. Get ready for the track to drop. Thank you guys. Bucky Barnes holding it down, moderating the chat as always. We haven't had to kick anybody out today. It's been good. For a chat largely
about
regarding
beef, we had none.
We had no beef.
No beef.
It's been great. MJ, Rare Faction Cell, Marb,
Todd Stephen Burrows,
The Wooden Chair.
Aisha as ever, awesome.
Aisha, hells yeah, always holding it down as
Hayden
well.
Center
Always
growing his
here.
own YouTube page. It's growing all the time.
Yeah.
He updates me. Proud of him.
And hey, if you want teas like these, they're available at rejectnationshop.com. Just we got a couple Star Wars. We got this in the Aw Soda. We got the Daddy, Pedro Pascal and Baby Grogu.
We've been talking for 3 hours, John.
We
You
got
don't have to
lots
have
of
words.
shirts that are relevant to Star
We got
Wars.
nipple chills.
Marketing opportunity.
Super Marvel Bros.
Achieved. Thank you guys. We love you all. Nora Mac, Deadshot, all the names. Ion Blush, Gigi, Allison Becker, Keenan Cairns, Nate Carlson, A Zoop, all you guys. I'm sorry if I'm not catching your name. Chris Whamoff. We got to end it off with you. Whamming with the best of them. We love you guys. Take care. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch you soon.
And just because we love beef doesn't mean you should have beef. Love your neighbor. Love people that care about you. Let them know you care about them, and that is what life is about. We'll see you next time, Reject Nation.
Fun to play with, not to eat.
Fire hurts. Fun to play with, not to eat is great.